finally down here. Boy, it took forever to get down here. And it feels weird because I think I've adjusted my hearing aids, so I'm getting a much more sort of slightly Battlestar-like sound to everything going on right now. All right, let me see what's going on so I can see. Here we go. I've got a little chitty chat up here. Can everybody hear me is the first question, because I usually screw that up. What if I got you tested on here? I bet you I can. Hello, your local Sholva. Can I hear what's going on here? Let's see. If I talk, will I hear me? Is the question. Although I think I may have screwed around with this a little bit. Let's have a look. All right. Can hear you. Good. Fantastic. Got enough to do any of my silly testing then. Who have we got? Your local Sholva. We've got Lady Shelley. Hello, Lady Shelley, and thank you. Megonis, Polynomial, Jolyn Arm K, Lexi K, A1200 Fan. Hello to you. How is everybody this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whatever it may be? I seem to have positioned this badly, haven't I? I've gone and moved it, haven't I? I've gone and moved the old Stargate. How's that better? A little better. Let's see. It's a bit of a lag. It's a bit of a lag on my stream. Let me see if I can fix this at all. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Look at that. Perfectly symmetrical. Oh, that's not bad at all. All right. Trans Rights, Rodney McKay. Hello to you. Killer Sith. Tiddlywinks. Oh, man. I used to play Tiddlywinks. That's how freaking old I am. Mist Diamond. Polynomial. What's good? Oh, that's good. I see. You like the composition of my shot that I've got going here. Getting giddy about where my D7D campaign is going. Really? D7D dungeons? Is that a mistake? That is it. That's a D and D, isn't it? But you've hit the 7 instead of... You shifted your ampersand, didn't you? Just to throw me off. Jedi Killer, good to see you. Dark Rogue, good morning to you. Yeah, what is it for me? It's like, it's just started the afternoon, but it's so miserably dark, I actually had to light the place. I had to light this place up a bit. I've also added a couple of new lights, which are supposed to be... I haven't figured out quite how to sync them up properly yet. But I've got lights that should technically change color. Oh, you won't even see them anyways. But I can, as it turns out, I can now adjust those lights, which I'm very excited about with my little smart home app, which is probably stealing all of my data. Probably has access to everything they shouldn't. I can turn that off? Can I turn that off? No, that's not working at all. Okay, or is it this one? Oh, that's off, and that's just taking a really long time to respond. Okay, so that's off now. Now I can adjust them both as I see fit. Ooh. Not terribly responsive, I'd have to say. This whole Wi-Fi control thing is a little kludgy, I'd have to say. Still feels a bit kludgy. I also would like it to be, I think it should be white right now, don't you think? Don't we think? I think so. So let's adjust that. Let's adjust our color to this. Can I do that? Interesting. Colorful. Let's go to the colorful scene. Maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll just change colors. That would be nice. And then I'm going to go to this one. Is it this one? Try this one, and we'll go to colorful on that one. There you go. So now they'll just go. They'll run through some funky colors. I can see slight wall change colors. Yeah, I'm not messing with it. I'm not messing with my camera right now. Wemo app for the lights. No, it's this. It's really cheap. I bought like the cheapest lights you could buy. In fact, where's the box? I had a box somewhere. They're called Moo Home. Like literally the cheapest ones I could find. I was gonna just get Ellie. Jane's a little bit on the warpath with me right now because I've been a little negligent in my telling her I wasn't gonna spend money. Because as you know, lockdown, whole COVID thing, not very good for the film industry. So there's no work, no income, all conventions canceled. So she quite rightly is saying like, you've got to be careful what you buy. And then of course I showed up the other day with a couple of things. I'll show you. You'll get a kick out of it. All right. surprise. I don't want to ruin the surprise, so I'm going to put it here. So this is one of my favorite. Oh God, that was. Okay. Tidying up. One of the list of things I got to do. So one of my favorite inventions of all time is this thing, which is it's just a fishing ribbon basically. But this is a 25-foot fishing ribbon. I use it all the time. I'm obsessed with kind of mapping the inside of our walls. Like I want to figure out where all of the various different HVAC stuff goes from. And I saw online that they had one of these that was 100 feet. And it was like 100 feet, $100. I thought, well, that seems like a pretty good deal. And I thought, it's nice, it's compact, it's easy to use. The one that I found online, exactly the same, except I didn't look at the measurements. Because yes, it's exactly the same, but it's exactly the same, only a lot larger. So Jane and Baz are laughing at me because I bought this giant thing. This is 100 feet of the cable. And the design is exactly the same. I don't know if you can see, like it's got the little handle, it's exactly the same. It looks like the same thing, except I didn't check the dimensions. So, but as I said, I'm not setting it back because now I can shove this baby down the entire HVAC system and find out exactly where they all go, which for me is very exciting. So there you go. So there's that. So she wasn't too thrilled about me buying that. She thought perhaps that wasn't money well spent. This, though, I got this little baby here. So, Celestron, I'll tell you, Phil Platt, or Plate, swears by them. He uses them for all of his astronomy stuff. I thought, well, if they do astronomy, they must have good lenses. It was a well-rated little USB microscope. And what I'm doing, I'm desperate to find stuff. How do you get the kids' hands-on stuff with Tech Bandits when you're on a freaking Brady Bunch squares of Zoom chats, right? So I got this in the hopes that instead of trying, what I was doing before was I had my other phone going. Okay, so I had my old Android going, and I was sticking that to a little piece that's stuck onto another little microscope that allowed me to look at stuff, but it was really tricky, and I could not do it one-handed or anything. This one, I'm hoping, for example, one of the simple things I wanted to do, which I've had struggled with, was to get microscopic view, like a magnified view of yeast fermenting. I just wanted to see what it looked like. Or just get a sense of it, or just watch it break down, something like that. And I got glimpses of it with this other setup, but I thought, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna do this, and then what I can also do is I could start posting. I really like posting, like, what do things look like, and then telling you what they are. So, like, look at this creepy looking thing, and then, oh, it's a bug or whatever, like, or oh, look at this creepy looking thing, it's the blueberry you just ate. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to play with that. I'm hoping that's gonna speed things up for me a lot. But more importantly, it means I can show the kids disgusting things on Tech Bandits and creep them out with the microscopic world, because there's nothing scarier than the microscopic world. And also nothing more fascinating in my mind. So I got a whole bunch of slides. I already have a bunch of slides. I bought a bunch of these little handheld microscopes for them to use during the strike, when they were here, to use when I was at school. And of course, first there was a strike, so they came over here and they used them and they liked them. No, that's not true. That's right. They came here and I didn't have them. I only had the big scientific ones, and that was, for some of the kids, it was really difficult to get their heads around. I find it difficult at times too, and not exactly kid friendly. The doctor's office version of the microscope. So I bought them a bunch of these little cute little ones. They're great. You can run around with them. We could look. I thought we could examine things, but then of course COVID happens. I haven't seen the kids since, so I've got 6 of these stupid things sitting around, and I play with them. And then the reality was, how do you share it? And so that's the USB version of that. And again, this is why I love all of our Patreon sponsors, because I can say to Jane, no, Jane, it's not coming out of our son's mouth's food. It's not coming out of our food allowance. It's coming out of my Tech Bandits allowance. So that might have made her a little happier. I'm not sure. So yes, so I've set that up. And I should say, while I'm here, thank you very much, first off, to DStat, being our one and only sponsorship level patron. And I really, really appreciate that. Not to mention all the many subs and stuff he does. I've got to thank all of the patrons, because you're amazing. I got to thank everybody who's donated, everybody who's subscribed here, as I say. You know, some of it goes to Bratlett's pocket money, but the rest goes to Tech Bandits. My portion goes to Tech Bandits, not to feeding us, but to Tech Bandits. So yeah, very, very, very much appreciated. So thank you very much for that. Also, got to thank Harklight for continuing to work on Soliloquio. I am stumped. I'm truly stumped at this point. I've done a lot of tech support for it. I've gone to WordPress. I've gone to the plugins. I really don't know how we're gonna pull this off the way it is right now. Like, I've got a ton of these monologues, and getting them to upload and get processed by the video software that is hosting this stuff for us. It just, I mean, there's got to be a way around it. But right now, the only way to do it is to log into the back end, upload it yourself, have it processed, and then you can use it in a link. So I got to figure that out. How are you, Harklight? So I'm gonna talk to Harklight after this about this, because I feel like we're gonna have to sort of rethink, or I gotta rethink how it's gonna be done. I'm wondering about maybe just compiling all of the videos I've got and curating them myself for the time being until we figure out, so we can come up with sort of a manual system of galleries of these monologues, and then use that. Maybe from there people will be more interested, and we can maybe get some support to actually fund like the development of a site or something. But anyways, the idea behind it is just to have, I just want actors to be able to, I want actors to have a place where they can just try out monologues. They can just try acting. Okay, when you suddenly want to act, what do? You go to a mirror and say lines, or you scream from the balcony during a storm. Not that I do that. Oh, blow, winds, blow. There's just this, or playing parts that you wouldn't get to play. So that was the whole idea. And Harklight was very excited about it. And Harklight's been amazing working with me on it. And explaining the whole idea of autism and working with people with autism and all that kind of stuff. He's just been fantastic about that. So it's kind of neat because it's kind of crossed over in a strange way into my Tech Bandit stuff as well, because this is stuff I talk to about with my Tech Bandits. The idea of assistive tech and of course we've been talking about inclusion and stuff with them as well. A lot of Black Lives Matter and stuff. So I got PC Bandits tomorrow. I got PC Bandits tomorrow, by the way. And what was that? Wow! Something just fell. Was it a squirrel? Oh boy! We get the clumsiest squirrels around here. What was the point of it? I completely forgot what I was talking about. As long as you get it up and ready eventually. Well, that's it. I mean, a lot of it is fun, D-Stat. A lot of it is fun. WordPress plugins are such a headache. Oh, really? So everyone's finding a problem with the WordPress plugins. Yeah. I mean, I think the key here is that I may have to. What am I missing? You're missing nothing, Riversong. Just my entirely, completely disconnected squirrel approach to life. Hello, David. Hello, Ironham. Hello, everyone. How are you? We are good. How are you? Oh my gosh, what was the point? Tech Bandits. Right, so Tech Bandits. I'm doing PC Bandits tomorrow. PC Bandits, we're going to talk about gaming chairs. Which is funny because I stand. I always stand. I insist on standing. I think I may have to change that because I will admit that my legs during this lockdown have become a little tired and a little enfeebled by all this standing around. And also I tend to what is it called? I overextend my knees. Like I tend to stand back and like pop my knee back and pop the next one back. Baz has been on this yoga ball for ages, and it's driving him crazy. And I think in that he's fallen off it a couple times, as we know from the clips, as we know from the Twitch clips. I think I'm gonna let him get a gaming chair for. He's also starts his Overwatch camp, so I'm not sure if he's going to want to be bouncing up and down all day on the yoga ball when he's supposed to be doing this gaming stuff. So, Skrill's also my personal style of living my life. Exactly, River Song. That's my life. I say, yeah. It's like, what would squirrels do? Squirrel? What? King Fluffles. Thank you very much. King Fluffles. For some reason, King Fluffles immediately makes me think of waffles. Maybe that's just where my head's at, but waffles for some reason. The gift of subs, a beautiful thing. Thank you, Summer SDR. Harklight, what is that? You got an emote thanks to King Fluffle subscription. I did? Oh, sweet. We got some really great pride icons this week. Yo, friends, what's up? Hey, D-Stat. D-Stat sub to Giraffes. Nice. Giraffes is one of my PC bandits, and he is doing, it's basically Roblox stuff, right? Giraffes? Do you want to? You're welcome to put your link in if you want giraffes, so people can watch if they want. D-Stat, thanks for the sub the other day. Chris Croxton, D-Stat's everywhere. Cool Matrix. Hey, Dave. Hello from sunny Margate. Ah, sunny Margate. How nice. Ours is, we're in sort of rainy, soggy, but I gotta say it's quite nice. It's like, it's a relief from all that sunlit humidity that we have here. Squirrel? Dean Winchester with you. I'm not sure what that means. Should I know what that means? Hewlett, I have a favor to ask. It's a huge ask. Uh-oh. What is it? Is it something that should be asked on the stream? DRS Spanky or Spanky? Dr. Spanky. All right, dude. D-Stat, thanks for the sub the other day. Yes, got that. Cool Matrix. Hey, David. Hello from we got that. Why, am I slowed down or have I gone back? What's going on? I feel like I'm repeating myself here. Are you currently working on some movies or series? The only thing I'm working on right now, Mr. Jules, is this stuff. Yeah, basically just online stuff. I mean, I'm doing the Guillermo del Toro movie, the new one, Nightmare Alley. But that, as I say, I'm still on lunch from about 4 months ago from that. We went on lunch and we never came back. So we'll see what happens with that. My girlfriend makes maps on Roblox. I have no clue how. I just help with Lua. Yeah, the Lua is kind of fun, isn't it, D-Stat? D-Stat, you got that letter I sent, right? Did you get that? Because you freaking should have. It was sent like weeks and weeks ago. I realized the other day when I was talking to you that it sounded like you might not have got it, which doesn't make any sense to me. Which would be a major drag because it was nice, shall we say. All right, check out Hewlett's new website if you're interested. Oh, I see. Harklight's pitching the Soliloquio website. Yes. I mean, as you say, go have a look at the website and see how much of it's not working. Because it's so frustrating. So basically, if you want to get into the geeky weeds of this, here's what it is I have this WordPress site, and the reason why I got the WordPress site was that it very cheaply you can add this thing called Jetpack Video Press, which takes your videos and basically hosts them on their own server as video files, and then you link to them through your WordPress site. And it means that you don't get charged huge amounts of downloads. You don't get charged huge amounts of space. So I thought, perfect. I set it up. The problem is trying to automate the process of people uploading to the site and having it automatically go through this Jetpack thing is proving, shall we say, problematic. So right now the MP4s will show up fine, but they're being hosted on the site. They haven't been sent to the video press portion. So what's happening is we're just filling up massive amounts of space, which is exactly what I was worried about, and not having any of the benefits of this streaming media site that Jetpack has sorted out. So just trying to figure that out. It's a bit frustrating, shall we say? Yeah, storage is the problem. Good, D-Stat. Yes. That's great. Oh, I'm so happy, D-Stat. So it was D-Stat's girlfriend's birthday. Remind me of her name again. What's her name? I should be using her name instead of D-Stat's girlfriend. That's terrible. So D-Stat, you can cover us for that too. What, for video? Video serving stuff? Really? The video stuff is just so... The other problem with this D-Stat is that it's not really while it is a labor of love to some extent, I do hope to actually turn it into a business as well, because I like this as an idea for actors in general. But yes, David, I can vouch for the Angry Educator. Actually, David, we need to thank you for bringing us together. The Angry Educator have become good friends, and we're a bit wild together. What, Pac-Bum? What's going on? What has Angry Educator been up to? So, no, it's something I need to ask in a direct message of some kind, but I promise you it's worth your time. Pac-Mum will vouch for me and for what I'm going to ask. Pac-Mum, I'm going to ask about the thing, that thingy and doing, and the thing the thing. Great, Pac-Mum. Perfect. McKay Rules. I love it. I like the wings and the raccoon. I like that, McKay Rules. Great to be here. Always look forward to these things. I'm so glad. Hapshade. Yes, I can vouch. Okay, Pac-Mom's vouched. Very good. It's more just about time, honestly, that I ever worry about these things. Oh my God, yes. Pac-Mom and I have a new mission. May I DM you on IG? It's the same name as here on IG. What's that on Insta? Oh, don't. It's. You know what? Just email me, Angry Educator. Yeah. Just it's when I get into social media, you saw what happened. Squirrel, and I'm gone. You know. That's why I did the Soliloquio site. Because there's too many distractions, right? So there you go. Um, Wolves Den. D-Stat says that D-Stat's awesome, and we know that he is. And DM me and I can give you bigger servers. Okay, all right, look at that. Use a Canadian like DO spaces. A CDN like DO spaces. What's that? Gizzle. I'm looking to cook dinner while I listen. Multitasking isn't easy. Karem, thank you for that link. By the way, I downloaded the link to the it's basically the highlights, Twitch highlights, basically. All right, you can email me right after the stream. Very good. La Cafe. All right, Polynomial says hi. What else we got? Question: how do you decide what to take as a hobby or want to study? I'm really struggling to decide on something. Tidphil. I mean, I think Tidyphil. Tidphil, Tidyphil. I like either one actually. Either one are fun to say. I am, as you probably can tell, rather notoriously distracted. Some may even go as far as saying ADHD. Certainly my doctor does. So I tend to bounce around a lot. Focus is always an issue. And strangely, it's either always the issue or it's, either it's because I'm not focused enough or it's because I'm too focused. Like I focus on one specific thing at the exclusion of everything else, including, eating, sleeping, family, friends, all that kind of stuff. So it's that weird combination of the two. So how do I decide what hobby-wise I go with? I find with hobbies, I've sort of settled on the idea of like, what can I do that I enjoy doing that will actually be enjoyed by others or might even help others? So that's sort of my limitation on my hobby. I've never been good at doing things purely for the fun of it, and yet I always have fun doing it, if that makes sense. So while I am incredibly selfish, I'm sure with most of my time, as most of us are, I like to think, like, for example, it's like this microscope stuff. Of course, I love the idea of playing with microscopes. I love the idea that I have a way of, thanks to Tech Bandits, I have a way of getting this kind of stuff and playing with it. But the idea is that, I get it, I play with it, and it is of benefit to the kids I'm working with. And I suppose eventually, now that I can get this online, potentially to sort of a larger population of people. I mean, my wife is really pushing me to say, look, you have kids you work with, let's get into a situation where you can film some of the working that you're doing with them in some way, shape, or form, and then share it online. Right now, I just work with the kids I work with. That's it. I do record a lot of the stuff. But again, it's weird with kids. You don't want to, there's been a few things with kids where, I don't want them to be guarded in what they're doing. I don't want them to always feel like they're on TV. Because I think that also changes the way they learn, and I'm much more important to me is what is them getting inspired and learn about stuff. And if they're wrong about things, I don't want them to feel like that's forever captured online type thing. So that's the idea, anyways. I will probably fall asleep to David's dulcet tones. Aw, Pac Mom, I'm here. Have laptop in bed, just kind of listening, working a migraine. Oh no, the migraines. Do you find the migraines relate to the breathing? He was in the movie Cube. Darn right I was. Rain Manzalin. I was indeed. Are you going way back? So you watched Cube way back when? Dog's Breakfast is great. Thank you. Very good. Glad you enjoyed that. The ideas and things that won't leave me alone. This takes up residence in my head. That I would also watch someone else do is what becomes a hobby for me, even if it's not frequent or always focused. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff out there. The internet is not your friend when it comes to focus, but at the same time, I feel like whenever I want to, whenever I can find resources for learning stuff. It's the online world is perfect for that. YouTube's amazing for that. There's all sorts of Instructables, all sorts of things. I absolutely love that stuff. But again, getting them finished is not always easy. What was really nice the other day was I was talking with, was it Fun King 3D and, my friends out in the 3D printing world. And they were saying the same thing where they're like, oh my God, there's so many things I haven't done. And then they laugh at each other for saying they're going to do things and then not doing them. And so I'm glad that it's not just me in my little acting world that has a hard time keeping track of stuff. I gotta say, I'm really I'm very distracted today because I have not been sleeping. It's the weirdest thing. Just have not been sleeping. Like asleep for a second and then awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake. Not really panicked or anything. Just kind of like in that weird sort of limbo between wake and sleep. Puddle Jumper, Murdoch Mysteries, Planet of the Apes, Splice. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Go check out the IMDb. Such a flattering picture on your IMDb there. Cal, is it the one? Is it my fat old guy one? I put it up. Jane was mortified. Like, which one was it, Cal? I should look. And hello, Cal, by the way. Cal also, big thanks to Cal for all of her help with everything, including just keeping me, humble. Yeah, I think the IMDb one, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that I posted this shot. I love it because I feel like those are the roles I want to play. Let me see. Oh my God, I'm IMDbing myself. How sad is that? Yes. So that's it. So that image, which is the fat old guy, as I call it, fat hairy old guy. I just feel like that's what I was born to play. Like those are the kind of characters, they're unpleasant and unpleasant to look at characters. So the necklace. Oh yeah, the necklace is. One is the wedding ring. It's my wedding ring. And the reason why it's on around my neck, not my fingers right now, is because I wash my hands so much, and I don't want anything in the way of the. I don't want any COVID caught under the ring that represents the love I have for my wife. And the other thing is this cute little. It's like tragedy comedy mask that Jane made for me. Like within the first month that we were together, or something. She would do these little silver things where you. I guess it's kind of a silver paste or something, and you create them and you put them in the oven and they shrink down. She was doing these little arts and crafts things. She did one for me, and I've never taken it off. So I've had it since we met. So I've had it for, I don't know, I think I've had it around my neck for 15 years, something like that. I have to take it off every so often for some of the acting roles because the sound guys will go like, something's banging against the mic. I'm like, yeah, it's my love for my wife that's banging against the mic. But I'll take it off for that. And rings on fingers. What's that? Can lead to pretty unpleasant injuries. It's true. Oh my God. One of my worst soldering injuries ever is back in probably the 80s. I just washed the floor and it's kind of sticky. So it was back in the 80s and I would wear all these like cool rings with like big skulls and alien creatures on them and stuff and I thought I was terribly cool. Very Billy Idol kind of thing. And I was soldering and I got a big blob of solder and I went to lift it up to apply it to something. I can't even remember what I was doing. And it hit the ring that I was wearing. It's a cheap little metal ring. And of course, what did it do? It did exactly what it's supposed to do. It rolled around and sealed the entire ring to my finger. And I couldn't get it off. So it just sat there burning until I could get to water. And then I had this massive burn around my finger for like months. I couldn't take the ring off. So, yeah, lovely. But David, if you play hairy old guys with grumpy faces, is it really acting? Good point, James. Good point. How do somebody ban James? Say, Cal, I think that's a timeout, isn't it? Isn't that a timeout, James? That's like James should totally. That's like a 30-minute timeout, I think, Cal. I think Cal should bring the hammer for those kind of things. Hello, James Gurney. How are you? I just had a chat with. Sorry, I had a chat with my wife, who just had a chat with her friend in Angleterre, who's saying that the findings are that masks may be difficult to use because people are always touching their faces, and if someone does sneeze on you and you touch your face, you press it up against your face, you're going to get sick. And I said they're full of whatever, and they should just wear a mask. In a big part because poor James has been like fighting the mask fight on Twitter. I can't believe an innocent little tweet about a guy almost getting run over by a bicycle. And he, in passing, said, like, and he wasn't wearing a mask. Turned into this big, long thing about fighting over whether you should wear masks or not. And poor James waded into the fray, brandishing his doctor in microbiology. And, and it was painful to watch because I just, I wanted to step in and go, James, back away, dude. You're dealing with, like, this is just not. But at the same time, hey, giraffes out of here. Thank you, giraffes. Sorry, no gaming today, buddy. You go game. Go game for me. Still happy birthday. What? Happy birthday, D-Stat. Is it D-Stat's? What? It's my... What is that? It's not my birthday. It's my unfortunately favorite girlfriend. What? Yeah, no, it's not D-Stat's birthday. It's D-Stat's girlfriend's birthday, and I forgot. And again, did you get me your name, D-Stat? What was her name? We should know her name. Kelly. Sorry, it was Kelly. I knew it was. I remember there was an I in it somewhere. All right, Kelly. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Kelly. Happy birthday to Kelly. Happy birthday, dear Kelly. Happy birthday to you. But you got a present from me already, so. Happy birthday. Rain's. What? Rain Maslin's got one as well? Oh my God, everyone's got a birthday. Happy birthday, Rain Maslin. Happy birthday. I can't do it. Too many damn birthdays. Happy birthday, Rain Maslin. What is it? I'm making up names now, basically. I'm doing what I accuse my son of doing when he reads, which is basically he just sees a couple of letters and makes up a word around it. Steve, I have asthma, can't breathe with a mask, and I get a headache. Yikes. Well, there you go. So that is a different situation altogether. I didn't think I would convince that guy. It's about who sees the conversation from the sidelines and sees and expect with PhD telling someone random guy that a mask will reduce deaths. Yeah, I mean, no, I get it. I totally get it. I was like, I could feel your frustration as he moved into, he went into sort of bigotry and what did you call it? Jingoism. There was a whole, oh my God, it got into national pride for the country. I can't even remember where he's from, but he was, all right, question. Born 1999, space, 1999. But I grew up watching Stargate, Star Trek, MacGyver, A-Team. Most series stopped going on TV when I was 14 years old, so I need to rewatch it. What series did you grow up on and any favorites? Growing up, series that I love all the old Doctor Who's. Around that era, I was probably watching Doctor Who previously, yeah. I was a big Doctor Who fan, so that would be, I'd go back and look at that. Any of those fun British sci-fi stuff, I was all into that. There is, of course, if you were born in 1999, you could watch Space 1999. It was kind of fun. God, what is it? There's all sorts of stuff. You can watch Red Dwarf. You can watch. What did I grow up on? Oh, did you watch? Well, people really like Sliders. I didn't watch a lot of Sliders, but Sliders. But also, come on, the one with the. Oh my gosh, Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap. Check out that. That was a really fun one. And then if you want to get cheesy, I really enjoyed, Knight Rider and Bionic Man. Oh my God, I've given you a long list. But definitely Doctor Who. Hello. I'm about to get my Prusa Mini from my university mailroom. Woohoo! Oh, I can't wait to see that. That's a nice looking little beast. I've got the Prusa 3 back here, still unbuilt. I gotta say, I'm finding recently, I am butting up against this problem of my days getting away from me, and I think part of it is just not sleeping. But I feel like, and the kid's off school too, so I'm trying to spend time with him when I can. Although he doesn't want to spend time with me, he'd rather spend time with his friends. He's now going to the park at least, which is more than I do. And so yeah, I'm struggling to get stuff done. So I've got a lot of projects that I need to get working on. I just feel like they're beginning to mount up. I'm getting a little panicky about it. Rain Man Slim, Rain Man Slim, Rain Man Slim, and Fatboy Slim. Two of my favorites, I gotta say. Funk Soul Brother, Care Bear, aka Hallie Drescher. I'm afraid to wear a mask because I get incredibly claustrophobic if anything is covering both my mouth. Well, then if you don't like wearing a mask, you're gonna hate wearing a respirator. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, social distancing's better. But the reality is, if you're afraid to wear a mask, I just imagine what it's like having a freaking respirator shoved down your throat. I mean, I just feel like if there's a way around it, then you should be wearing them. Sliders was a favorite. Oh, very good. Yeah. GTA, you watch Quantum Leap too. I love Quantum Leap, I gotta say. If you have asthma, you do not wear a mask in Germany. Oh, really? Because I have asthma. Airwolf. Oh my God, I loved Airwolf. I freaking loved Airwolf. Quantum Leap, yes. How you doing with how you are going to the mall? We're not going to the mall, are we? The mall, the mail, the mall. I can't. This is the worst screen. I'm finding it so hard to read the text. Maybe it's because I'm old. Oh my God, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, watch that series. The British sci-fi were like cheesy, fun greatness. I gotta say, it's Tomorrow People. All of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I loved all those series. I'm not going to take a break. I'm standing up already. Leave me alone. Why are you talking to me? Alexa! I'm done. Turned you off. I turned her off. I don't know why she's talking to me. I think Baz set a bunch of alarms, and then I get stuck listening to them. What do we got? Scarves are the same problem. If I ever wear them, they never cover both my mouth and nose. I see. Well, then maybe you don't live in Toronto then, because man, it's so cold you have to cover your face. I didn't like the new Hitchhiker's Guide as much, but I did rather love the original ones. King Fluffles, any chance of you ever appearing on The Expanse? There were 2 roles that came up for me on The Expanse that didn't work out. I can't remember why now. Well, I mean, I've auditioned for them a few times and not got it. And then there's been a couple of there's like a couple that they sort of said, "Oh, are you available these days?" And I said, "Yes," and then nothing happened. So haven't seen Babylon 5. Oh, X-Files. Oh my God, X-Files. Yeah, I love the X-Files. Of course, TNG. It's physical distancing, not social distancing. Yes, but yes. The amount of times I built Ziggy with Lego. Oh, really? Dave, I really love all your films. I have them all, even if I haven't found some in Italian, and I see them with English subtitles because it's a bit difficult given the speed with which you speak to follow everything. Yeah, forget subtitles with me. Just give it up. But thank you. Thank you, Claps. Claps, you may enjoy the fact that, I think this might have actually been a German original series, but there was a show called Commissario Rex, which my mom used to watch in Italy, and then they started doing one here called, was it like Turner and Rex? No, was it Rex and Hudson and Rex? It's called. And when it came up, I actually called the production office and said, "Please, can I do an episode?" Because my mom would love that. So I actually ended up doing an episode simply because my mom loved Commissario Rex when she was living in Lucca in Italy. So Lucca, oh my God, beautiful. Italy, it's a beautiful place. How is Italy now? Because man, you got nailed by this COVID thing, didn't you? Farscape. Everyone loves Farscape. Never watched it. I've never seen a single episode of Farscape, and everyone tells me to do it. Grant Wynn Davies. Oh my God. Yeah, he was. What was that show he did about the vampires? He had some vampire show that he did, and I did one episode of that. Same in the UK. You're exempt if you have breathing difficulties. I see. Yeah, I mean, then stay away from people. That's all I would say. I didn't realize that you weren't supposed to wear one if you had asthma. It might explain a few things for me. Starsmore. Farscape is great. It's one of the ones I go back to rewatch every so often. Oh, good. Seriously, though, everyone is saying shows from their childhood. Stargate was the show for me. It was like the only sci-fi show on free TV in Australia at the time, and I discovered, Ghost in the Shell. Oh, so good. Not the movie, but the series. Well, if you like that kind of stuff, check out Tokyo Ghoul. That's beautiful. I mean, very different. Not so much cyber, but very cool. Benny Hill. Oh my God. We used to watch Benny Hill. I imagine it's incredibly inappropriate now. Ah, man. Airwolf. Ernst Borgnine. See? Come on, Cal. And you laugh at that image on IMDb? That's an Ernst Borgnine photo. That's why I do it. So I want to play Ernst Borgnine roles. He was the best. Character guys. I love the character actors. I always prefer the character actors. You should definitely be the next Doctor Who. I do love Peter Capaldi as an actor. I think he's brilliant. I just felt like we'd already done the old white guy. So I'm sort of happy to see Jodie taking over, and then mixing it up a bit, because it's only so long you can sort of ignore the rest of the world going on in Doctor Who. And Doctor Who, when it first came out, was sort of revolutionary. It was treading new ground. It was like, it was like this. They shot it like a live. They shot it like what's it called? Like Dark Shadows. I mean, in black and white on video stuff. I mean, it was extraordinary. Oh God, Dr. McKay and The Expanse would be fantastic. I mean, I read the first book of The Expanse and I freaking loved it. I have the other ones and I haven't read them yet. Add it to my list of guilty things I haven't done yet. And I started watching the show and I found it really confusing, and I never went back. So, but my friend Bob Monroe did the visual effects for the first few seasons, something like that. He's now on What We Do in the Shadows, which is apparently amazing too. Tripods is supposed to be getting a reboot. Tripods? Triffids, maybe? Triffids? What's the tripod? I don't know the tripods. Really? I don't like reboots generally, but you know, you never know. It just annoys me that during this time we need to be social and we need to be physically apart, not socially. You do not obviously, by streams like this, need to be physically close to anyone socially, but it annoys me. Um, yeah, Hallie, I would say I think people are inherently pretty social. I mean, one of my complaints about COVID is that I feel like all of a sudden I'm at like everyone's beck and call. Like I feel like people just like, oh, I'm gonna do some work now, so I'm gonna call David and ask him for stuff, and it's like it's 7 at night, or you know, I feel like people who aren't used to working at home aren't good at they're not good at managing their work life balance, and I've never been good at that, by the way. But I think that people who are new to the telecommuting and stuff, I think that I struggle with it even more. So whether it's a matter of not doing enough work or doing too much, I mean, it really is. Either one of them can be pretty bad. If you can understand David, you can speak English well. If you can understand David, you can speak English. That's very true. That's if you want to learn English, that would be the way. Well, I wouldn't not correct English by any means. Certainly not the Queen's English. X-Files, one of those shows, I like the standalone episodes, but tired of the ones that build the mythology. I agree, Karem. I didn't like the ongoing. I liked the background of paranoia, but I didn't like the ongoing stories of paranoia. And I feel like the fault with that is the networks who they don't want shows you can come in, enjoy, and leave again. They want shows that you have to come back. So a lot of the shows are created. That's why they have cliffhangers. That's why they have all that kind of stuff. Serialized content since the beginning of filmmaking has all been about trying to drag people back to see more, to get them to spend more money, right? So I agree. I like the one-off little stories. I don't know why everything has to be a giant long series. And we used to call them bottle shows. Bottle shows were shows that just existed by themselves in their own little bottle, and I always quite liked those shows. Although Doctor Who had it right. Doctor Who would do like 4 or 5 episodes that all linked together into one. Like it was basically it was a 2-hour movie, but like cut into 4 segments or 5 segments or 6 segments, whatever. Forever Night, that was it. But remember, David, if you watch it, crackers don't matter. What is that? But remember, David, if you watch it, crackers don't matter. What do you mean? What does that mean, King Fluffles? What, eat donuts? What's going on? I don't understand that. I only ever watched the Warehouse 13 episode that Joe Flanagan was in. Really? That's it? Warehouse 13, was it good? It seemed like a great idea. It was basically I think someone went in and said like, okay, you know the end of the Ark of the Covenant? You remember the end of like Raiders of the Lost Ark? Okay, the guy who runs that warehouse. That's basically it, right? It was a completely unoriginal idea, but it was just a great segment of the film that could be expanded into ongoing series, because literally you just had box after box after box of cool stuff to play with. I love that idea. There was one I did, Friday the 13th, the series, years and years ago. I worked with my favorite Martian, who was the grumpiest, most miserable, and I gotta say, pretty unpleasant man that I'd worked with up until then. I know he's a legend, but boy, he was a very unpleasant man. Then again, maybe he just didn't want to be there. He certainly did not want to be on that show. And so the episode we did, was about like a comic book that was, I think it was like a comic book that was somehow haunted in some way. But the idea was it's a shop of curios, and every curio is cursed in some way. And I thought that was a great show. Dark Shadows, yeah. Dark Shadows is so cheesy, but it was so much fun. Cal has slowed me down because I'm going too slow. I would love to be a doctor's companion. That would be great. David's like 5 hours behind because he's like 99 years old. Thank you, Cal. And maybe Cal could bring the hammer to bear on herself at some point. I remember seeing in the film Cardiff, not a huge fan of grim, dark, and Expanse. A little positivity. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, look, I love... Oh my God, am I going to try to catch up? Do I try to catch up or do I just scroll ahead? What do you think? I can't tell because I haven't scrolled ahead, right? I think there's a little too much dark, broody science fiction out there. I think when it's done well, it's fantastic. I truly loved all that stuff. The cyberpunk. I love Blade Runner, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that nihilistic kind of future. But at the same time, when it comes to TV shows, sometimes it's just fun to have some silly excitement. That's why I really like The Mandalorian for that. Is I feel like I feel like I'm going back to the Star Wars days where you go like, oh yeah, kind of thing. I miss that in science fiction. And even their movies I found was just getting a bit too much. But for some reason, The Mandalorian I felt found a nice balance of of sort of positivity and brightness, even when it had to get dark at times, because you have to. It's Star Wars, for God's sake. Okay, as I try to hold my hiccups in. I've been isolated from people physically since 2003 for the most part, so the internet has been my only truly social connection. All I've done is work from home, so this just made work a lot harder. Oh, really? Well, you mean it just made work a lot harder because you had more time, or because everyone else was not as good at working at home? I definitely want to scene with you and Chris Jen. Who's Chris Jen, King Fluffles? Cracker Keck says, you are nice. Thank you very much. I don't know why that means so much to me, but I quite like that. I mean, I suppose I should be offended that you find that surprising. But in a War of the Worlds stole their idea, then it must have been good. If War of the Worlds stole their idea, then it must have been good. Oh, War of the Worlds. Oh my God, that's right. I forgot about that. Techmatia. Techmate, y'all. I don't know what that means. Missed that. Tripods was a War of the Worlds like series of books. Yes. Okay. There was also War of the Worlds, that series. I just joined. What are you talking about tonight? Good question, David CB. We're talking about squirrels, about everything. Basically, I'm never on one theme for very long, or I'm on one for way too long. So we're all over the place. Basically, jump in. Yeah, I'm very behind on the chat, so I'm seeing what I've got here. There wasn't a science fiction or fantasy type 90s show I didn't watch as a teen, I think. Everything from the 80s onwards. Yeah. No, me too, River Song. I was just everything. If it had sci-fi in it, I was in it. The Martian. I loved The Martian. I loved The Martian because I read the book. And it didn't even feel like fiction because it was real science fiction. I loved the way he took an idea and said, what would it be like to live on Mars? And then he just went with, that was his story. The movie was silly, but it was fun. I mean, it added a lot more excitement to it. It was really fun to watch them create those visuals and stuff. We just watched Ad Astra the other day, or as Baz calls it, Bad Astra, because it was really dull. And there's an awful lot of sort of moody shots of Brad Pitt looking at himself in mirrors and things. But the effects were glorious. I mean, beautiful, beautiful visual effects. And I'm afraid I'm a bit of a like an eye candy guy on this stuff. I go to these movies for the visual effects in many cases. In fact, I don't go to movies. I watch movies because of the visual effects. Like, I'll watch the new Terminator purely because Corridor Crew were talking about the effects in it. So, I've also got to do a huge thank you. Action VFX. Okay, so these guys, Rodolphe. I don't know how to say his name exactly, but lovely guy. I was put in touch by Red Giant. He runs this brilliant website called Action FX and Action VFX. And all they do is film the effects elements for people. So, like fire explosions, gunshots, blood splatters, weather, wind, storms, anything you can think of that you need to sort of composite on top of things in your films. And of course, the last time I was sort of lamenting about my bad VFX skills online was because I was doing some snow effects for Who You Know, which are okay, but I mean, they took a really long time, and I didn't have the technology to. I didn't even have the 4K screen required to watch them properly. So I was sort of flying blind on it. They're okay. They don't pull you out of the movie. They do what they needed to do. There was some rain effects. There was a little bit of compositing. They had done one big long shot at the beginning of the movie, and they wanted to cut a chunk out of it. So what I did was I composited the two shots together, basically. With a little bit of masking. So someone wiped the frame. I created a fake frame wipe of a character walking. So I filmed myself, or was it the director, walking across a green screen. And then I took that and I put that in front of the long clip. And then as he walked, I masked into the next part of the scene, a little further into the scene. Really fun. I gotta say, I freaking love doing visual effects. I suck at them, but I love it. And then one of the other ones was adding snow effects, and I got a little obsessive about that. So I was doing particle effects using Red Giant stuff, and a lot of their plugins, which are just glorious. And And so I created this, what I think pretty good snow, and I tried to match it to existing snow where there was existing snow, which is the hardest one. And then you got to play with some other ones. Anyways, point being is, once that was all done and delivered, I was contacted by this friend of Red Giant's, you know, Rudolph, like maybe it's just Rudolph, from Action VFX, and he said, you know, we do these overlays. Do you want to have a look? And I was like, oh, thanks so much. I'm done now, but thank you. And then my friend who directed that movie has directed another one and is trying to get in the can. Which is really bizarre comedy, which I just don't understand at all. I said to him, look, I'm so sorry. I'm not helping. I don't understand this movie at all. This must be like a generational thing because I don't get it. I don't know what you're doing there. But that said, you know, he, once again, it's based in the winter and he needs some snow effects. So I, of course, being the nerd I am, was like, ooh, I'll help. And I didn't realize, and then so I contacted Action VFX. They set me up with some of these effects, some of these overlays. I don't have to do anything. Like, I literally just delivered these overlays to them, and they can put them on their film, and they're basically done. So I was blown away, and I can't thank them enough. And I should put them down as a sponsor or something because I'm just so impressed with them helping out on that. Anyways, what else we got? Favorite cake, carrot cake. I love carrot cake with sour cream icing. Is that it? What Jane makes? Although Jane's been making this beetroot chocolate cake, which is also amazing. So basically any cake that my wife makes because I love her, and she's the most amazing cook. You give cliffhangers, then you cancel a show, and it's frustrating. I don't like the season arc, but resolve it. The shows I enjoy are often the ones with good characters, not overly complicated and heavy mythologies. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to slowly build that. Why does David always wear a cap? I'll tell you why, Lexi K. Because look at my hair. Because I'm in lockdown, and my hair, I'm beginning to look like Kim Mitchell. I'm beginning to look like one of those like thinning-haired rockers from the 1990s or something. So, yeah. Oh, Primeval. Yeah, the British one was fun of that, too. Totally out of the blue here. If they ever made a movie or series about the SCP Foundation, you'd be a great fit as a scientist in such a setting. What is SCP? Did I miss that? What is SCP? Good afternoon, David and chat, says Xenos. Oh, Xenos, what are you eating? Xenos always has this food envy thing that he does just to drive us all crazy. But welcome, Xenos. Thank you for coming. DH Phoenix, hello. Wolf Shade. Good morning. A little late to the show, says Saren, Smith and Sar. Crackers Crack says, I like you, David. I like this Cracker Cracks because all they're doing is just little compliments every so often. Keep me going. Gods, yes. Can we have some fun sci-fi again? Yeah, no kidding. We need, like, I'm telling you, my pitch, I'm doing it again, Stargate Academy. We set it up as a school. McKay runs the school. We get all the old Stargate folks to come in and teach classes or take them on missions or whatever. And then you have like all your young kids the network loves. You can have your ongoing stories and all the crap that the network TV people like, the broadcast folks like. But we get characters. We get all our characters back. That's my suggestion. An episode of Farscape. Oh, okay, all right. It's one of my favorites and became an inside joke with me and my dad. Josh Wheaton seems to always manage a good mix between action, drama, and comedy. Yeah, he does. I wish he did more TV stuff, frankly. I don't, you know. He's all film now, isn't he? That's why I love Warehouse 13. Eureka. Oh, Eureka was fun, too. I love that guy. Whose name, of course, I can never remember. I can never remember his names. Killjoys was fun. Oh, good. Because that was, Aaron was in that. I loved Aaron. Toby, I don't really know why intelligent aliens need to invade. Like, they have tech much more advanced than us, but the philosophy and ethics department is still in the Stone Age. Interesting. Well, I mean, I always liked the theory that if anyone was coming to our planet, it was going to be robotic. Because, you know, what organic life is going to be able to make the jump from whoever else is habitable. Any chance of getting a part on Picard? Oh my god, I'd love that. Or Mandalorian, I'd even love that too. Either one of those, I'd love to do that. I think it's unlikely, but I would love to. He's only nice because he's had his coffee. K. Michael, it's true. Although it's running out though, so watch out. Timeless was good, but the last series was rushed. Oh, that's interesting. I never watched that. It's a fun watch. Definitely worth a replay if you have time. How did you find Stargate Universe? I loved it. I mean, I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was absolutely beautiful, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time on it. I think they got a bit of a bad rap. Because they should have just been called Universe, and then It just would happen to have Stargates in it. Because the problem is, as soon as you put Stargate in front of it, people are expecting SG-1 or expecting Atlantis, or any of the movies. I feel like when they went to Universe, they were trying to do something. I mean, they were trying to do their dark, nihilistic science fiction stuff, and I think that's not what people were expecting. I think that was the biggest issue. The Martian was one of the best books of the last years. Yeah, I loved The Martian. If you like The Martian, you should read. Is it Red Planet by Kim something something? Look up the red. I think it's the red. I think it's called the red. Yeah, the Red Planet. Someone will have read it, I'm sure. Someone in the chat will find it. Hearing her swear is audio gold. I kind of enjoyed Stargate Discovery. So did I. Although I haven't watched it all, but I was enjoying the ones I was watching. Again, in that one, I really liked. I just kind of liked how sort of space opera it went at first, to be honest, and then the bottle shows I didn't like as much. But I really loved the female lead in that. I just thought it was just great. I loved her storyline and stuff. Discord. My brain just reminded me that I still have to pick Falling Skies back up. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. For some reason my chat doesn't work when I use Firefox. I can't send any messages at all. I don't like using the Edge browser. Yeah, don't use Edge browser. Who uses Edge browser, David CB? I just use Chrome. Seems to work for everything. In The Mandalorian, I would see you indeed, but for season 2, not sure. It seems to me that the shooting is over. Yeah, probably. I would think so. And I'm back from the fun, says Cool Matrix. I was out on a shopping trip. Ooh, nice. Bad Astra was probably longer than it needed to be, but I thought the idea and message point of the story was really good. I guess so. I mean, yeah, it seemed a little self-indulgent, but I kind of enjoyed it. And Baz watched the entire thing, so I've got to make him watch Gravity, because I think he'll like that as well. There seems to be a 1-minute delay on Firefox. You comment, then you have to wait 60 seconds before you can comment again. You know why? Because there is a lag. We've got a lag. Cal has slowed down the chat in a bid for me to try to catch up. I'll try to catch up. There are silly bits in the book. I laughed out loud for a few minutes when he first talks to Earth in text form, yeah. He's told his response is being broadcast all over the world. He decides to draw naughty bits in emojis, yes. He had some fun with it, I thought, James. But of course, microbiologist, I'm sure, has some things to say. Microvirologist? Virologist? Microbiologist? The chat is in slow mode. Same for everyone. Yeah, James Gray wouldn't stop laughing at that bit. Chocolate. Miss Carol Z said, chocolate. Thanks, Aaron Cross and others. I'm a Twitch noob and learning about stuff like this. Ah! Well, Desipramaniac? Is that like an Animaniacs thing? Welcome, and yes, enjoy the learning curve. It takes a while. Chocolate. Oh my God. Yes, What is SCPs? What is SCPs? In movies today, I don't really am as interested in the intelligent aliens. Always need to invade. Yeah, I don't know why they need to invade. Made a badass cake, Nutella. Ooh. Hell, I would like a David Reed's SCP stream. What is SCP? Somebody tell me what SCP is. Okay, I'm scrolling down to the very bottom to see what people say SCP is. Oh, Desipramin. What does it do? You left out my favorite, Captain Skylet. Have you thought about doing any audiobooks? I should do audiobooks, I know. I only know Red Planet by R. Heinlein. Nope. It was a newer one. Maybe it's not Red Planet. That's it. Kim Stanley Robinson. Thank you, Polynomial. It's Red Mars, so I apologize. That was it. So, Red Mars, Kim Stanley Robinson. I have scrolled to the very end. I'm not sure if I should scroll back. VCMD Propulsions, good morning to you. Been a while, my friend. Thunderbird, Stingray, and Joe 90 were classics. Stargate Universe, we've got an article this morning that Brad Wright still has plans to bring Stargate back. They keep saying that. I really hope this happens, and I loved Stargate Universe in the final season. It was starting to find its feet, and the finale was amazing. I wanted to season finish the plot at least. Yep. What's this? Tryon? Personally, I'm a big fan of hard sci-fi, although I'm a big Star Trek fan. Star Wars until Disney ruined the new ones. However, all the little things in the Expanse, like the Coriolis effect, when they pour water to glass, the way that they accelerate for the last half of the journey, then turn around, decelerate for the second half. You like that stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like they're always announcing that they're going to try to antidepressant. Oh, there you go. Hey, if you need it, take it. That's what I say. I'm gonna watch Debug tonight. Wish me luck. Oh boy. All right. Good luck. I mean, look. I mean, the cast did a good job with what they could do, but my God, Debug is just was like I have like post traumatic stress disorder from doing Debug. I can't even watch it. I don't even want to talk about it. I find it just so frustrating. Oh, thank you, Nightbot. Thank you, Xenos. Check out David's YouTube channel. Yeah, I actually what I normally do is I archive all of these chats or most of these chats when I think of it onto my YouTube thing as well. SCP is an online organization akin to Wikipedia, but a bit more story and all about weird world phenomena and items, little on the creepy side. Interesting. Are we caught up? I left to grab lunch. Yeah, I sort of caught up, sort of. Debug did not go the way I thought it was going to in the end. No, me neither, Karem. Not me neither. Is that the series Red Mars, Green Mars, Blue Mars? Yes. SCP are an internet horror collection of obscure monsters kept hidden by secret quasi-government organization. Lots of great monsters in there. A little bit of Lovecraft, a little bit of X-Files. There was a recent game called Control that was similar. Ooh, very nice. I like the sound of that. Gotta run now. Take care. Oh, thanks for the chat. The Maverick Werewolf. Lovely to have you. Thank you for howling around here for a little bit. Constant acceleration in the expanse. There is not brakes or friction in space. My device works the same. What energy you use to accelerate has to be the very same to decelerate. Right. Okay. I take your word. Wait a sec. So, McKay Rules, you're saying that Fantasy Makers doesn't show up on my IMDb? I should totally put that in there. Fantasy Makers was what I thought was a nicely made little documentary, and I did the voiceover for it, all about Tolkien and Lewis and I want to say Gilbert. Is it Gilbert? The other guy, the guy was even before that. Who was they're basically doing. They were I guess they were sort of like. Is it analogies? No. What are they called when you do a? God, I was just talking about this with my mom the other day. When you do a book that's sort of thinly veiled Christianity or religious stuff. Someone in there will find it. Some of the SCP servers for Gary's mod ruin the creepiness, though. Oh, really? Please announce a stream on YouTube. Please announce a stream on YouTube. Really? You want me to stream on YouTube as well? I guess I could try streaming. Can you stream to both? I guess you could do the Streamlabs thing, right? Bertley, interesting question. Speaking of IMDb, do actors have control of all of their content on there? Sort of. I mean, you can edit stuff, but usually, as with everything in the film and TV industry, it's not just you who are involved in these things. So there are filmmakers, producers, and all who may have more control over who's got what credits where. I'm always very reticent to put stuff up myself until I've sort of got permission or the thing's already launched and stuff. Because I don't want to. I mean, people have marketing campaigns. They spend a lot of money on this stuff. I don't want to screw anything up for anybody. So I tend to sort of wait until things are well established before I'll actually put myself in there. But yeah, you have a fair amount of control over it, and you can put photos and move photos around and that kind of stuff. Like we were joking about Cal was joking about the photo that I have for my IMDb thing. I put that up there. My wife was furious, but I put that one up there because I just felt like that's the kind of roles I'm gonna be playing. So I thought that would be a good one to put up there. David, so I got finished making pancakes for the whole house, 5 people. As for dinner, no idea. Well, you eat enough pancakes, you don't need dinner. It's not symbolism. They're called. It's another term for it. What was it called? My mom and I were looking this up. Is it an analogy? Maybe it's a. Is it an analogy? Comparison between two things, typically versus or clarification. It's not. It's. Yeah, it's kind of. I want to say it's an analogy, but there's another word for those types of books. Like it was things like, yeah, like what C.S. Lewis does, or Beyond the Blue Mountains. I grew up on my My grandparents on my mother's side were incredibly religious, like family of missionaries from Africa and stuff. Like not from Africa, but I think they went to Africa, as the British Empire to to convert the heathen and all that stuff. So they were really big on that kind of stuff. But is it allegory? It is allegory. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I get analogy and allegory mixed up. That's it. So they're allegorical. So I grew up on Beyond the Blue Mountains. I grew up on Pilgrim's Progress, and then of course C.S. Lewis. King Fluffle says, knowing that you were the one who chose that picture just makes it go from unfortunate to see to actively amazing. I love you, King Fluffles. Thank you. Hello, Appa75. How are you doing? Yes, we've decided on allegory. Jazz Superfly. Don't know if you saw it, but I just wanted to say thank you, David, for your help surprising my wife for our anniversary. Oh, fantastic. I'm uploading and putting together a little video response for you on her Stargate anniversary. Should be ready tomorrow. So wait a sec. Did I send your anniversary thing to you, right? Is that the one I sent a little video to? Is that you? I'm so glad it worked out. I'm very glad. I like to be able to do those things when I can. SCP to me means Super Coup Performance. It's supercharged Thunderbirds from the factory. They were my favorite car. Well, there you go. Coffee's lifeblood. Very good. Very good, Cracker Kex. I would have to agree. Since I don't know you, first time catching a stream. Oh, fantastic. Well, welcome. How much of you is in Rodney? You guys have a degree of control over your characters. How much of me is Rodney? Not enough, maybe. I always said that personality stuff, there was a lot of me in Rodney. Intelligent wise, from an intelligence standpoint, no freaking way. I'm a high school dropout. I am contagiously curious, lifelong learner. I absolutely love learning stuff and exploring stuff. Not so much exploring the world as I am exploring the world of science, technology, engineering, arts, math, that kind of stuff. But yeah, the snarkiness, the grumpiness, the unfit, the hypochondria, the finger snapping. These are all basically me. But yes, they added a citrus allergy and a genius brain to my various foibles. I provided the foibles. But again, a lot of it is just great writing, right? I just got to play a lot of that fun stuff. But as I've said, they go as they get to know you as an actor, the writers will write stuff more to your specific things. So like finger snaps and stuff like that began to appear more and more as we moved on. Need an ice cold coffee. I never liked ice cold coffee. I've always liked hot coffee. GTX, how much of Rodney is now part of you? Maybe a little less. I feel like the edges are coming off me a little bit. I'm becoming a bit of a softie now that I've had a child, I think. Can't have caffeine, so only decaf coffee and tea. I know, but even just the decaf stuff makes it feel like you're getting it, doesn't it? If it was more David than Rodney, the shield would have collapsed and we would have been invaded by the Wraith already. Exactly, VMCD propulsions. And block. Literally just making one now. What? Literally just making what now? Polynomial. Coffee. Good. Thinking. I adopted the snapping fingers from Rodney. Everyone should. It's great. Well, my wife would give me 15 minutes when I got home. Jane would give me 15 minutes when I got home to lose the McKay. Otherwise, I'd be like, martini, martini, where's my salad? I used to call him a salad because it was basically like a martini with olives in it. And be very sort of brusque and stuff. And I think I was probably horrible on set because I'm sure a lot of that just sort of like oozed into my real life as well. So. And the Stargate would be off center. Thank you, his river song. Such a jerk. Yes, you're right. It would be off center too, but it'd be working. I was thinking more, are there things written for McKay that are now just habit for you in real life? No, I'm just not that good an actor. I don't invent stuff for characters so much as I just highlight parts of my own personality, if that makes sense. So I would say, I was always rather snarky and sarcastic, but McKay made it snarkasm, made it like one thing, made it a personality trait, if that makes sense. What are things I picked up from McKay that I do? I think I might be a little bit more willing to willing to sort of play on the snappy, grumpy stuff. I tend to play that up maybe a little bit more than I used to. At least that's what I tell people. That's what I tell people. I really am. I'm just like, you know what's funny though, Crisscross Stitch. I'm having more and more difficulty snapping my fingers because I have arthritis, right? So you find that the snapping of fingers is gets very, very difficult. So, but snarkasm, yeah, snarkasm is like the word I made up for. I'm sure it existed before, but I thought I made it up for McKay because I felt that snarkasm was what I was delivering. Val84 loves it. Welcome, Val84, by the way. It's a full-time job. Right back at you. Legend. Gekronen says, amazing to see you streaming. I usually miss you. Is it Stargate chat only or others like A Dog's Breakfast too? I thought that was funny and loved seeing familiar faces. Oh, great. No, we're open to everything here, basically. Yeah, I mean, I try not to get too in the weeds because I have talked a fair bit about Stargate, but I'm happy to do it. I have this house and this office because of Stargate, so I feel like I probably owe it to you to talk about it a bit, don't I? But Dog's Breakfast, I'm glad you like that. Look, Dog's Breakfast was me just goofing around. Jane wanted to produce movies. She'd never done it before. And I thought, great, I want to make a movie, so let's, so I wrote something as quickly as I could, as silly as I could. I came up with a bunch of shot ideas and was originally going to do a short film and then just figured all the trouble of making a short film, why not make a feature? And I thought work with people I love and surround myself with the people I know and respect and I was very, very lucky. So Dog's Breakfast was just like an absolute joy. I mean, not saying it wasn't difficult, but we had we just had just an amazing time. And as you say, you saw familiar faces because those are my friends. Those are people I love. Those people. Chris Judge I was terrified of, but I was once he came in for the reading. I wrote him an extra scene because he was so freaking funny. I mean, I still think he's one of the funniest things in that movie. He just a lot of being able to see my friends in a light that most people don't see them in as well, and my little sister and stuff, and my dog. I miss my dog. I'm afraid Mars is no longer with us, so yeah. Robot dog next, I think. Anyways, point being is, it was just an amazing experience. I really enjoyed it. I wanted to make a movie that would make my dad laugh, and my dad laughs at movies like Johnny Dangerously. Like he's got this slapstick humor. We grew up with Pink Panther movies, and all the Peter Sellers stuff. I mean, I just most of it, which is completely inappropriate now, but growing up with that stuff, I just enjoyed that incredibly broad. It also crosses all divides. Slapstick comedy it works in any language. It's a physicalness to it that I just love. I'd like to do animation now actually because I feel like that would be sort of the next logical step for me. Would be the idea of how do you take that sort of physical comedy and move it into another type of film. I'd love to do animation for that reason because I think that would be like a kind of fun one to do. Oh my God, Mars had a happy and loving life. He did indeed, Emigranto. I will never forget that dog. He was an absolutely wonderful dog. My wife and my son have been hounding me, if I may be so cheesy, about this other dog. There's a dog in the pound right now that has very similar hip issues and joint issues, and they've bugged me to foster it. And I said, look, I can't do it. I can't do another dog. I love that dog. I love that dog so much. I feel like the idea of replacing him was just impossible to me. So, but they've gone ahead and they've asked about his availability anyways, despite my dropping the Cal hammer and saying no dogs. They've gone ahead anyways. So who knows? We may end up with one. But Mars was just he was just a part of my life for such a long time. I mean, he and Jane said that the only thing I really missed from my first marriage was my dog, who also apparently died. Anyways, another great dog, Newton, and they were both the same kind of dogs, and I trained them and I just I adored that beast, and he was just a lovely, lovely dog, and I worry about, it's kind of like having a second child, I love my kid. I don't want a different one, so why would I have another one? Basically the way I feel about it. Anyways, I can't foster animals. I'm guaranteed. No, that's the problem is that we were going to foster Mars. I said I agreed to walk Mars. That's what I did. Oh, thank you, GTA Baby Yoda. Yes, there are some really cool masks that Jack Jasper designed. Um, do check them out. GTA Baby Yoda's got them up there. As I say, $2 goes towards Tech Bandits, but I want to make sure that Jack gets a portion of that too for doing all the work. Yeah, so go help out. Go help out and get yourself a really cool mask. I've got to say. I mean, I don't know how good they are at actually keeping you alive, but they look damn cool because they've got the big logos on them. So I can relate. Lost your dog too. Yeah. Oh God. Little Mars bar. I keep finding you'll get those. You get those like stupid like this time 5 years ago, and you're like Mars bar, Mars bar. I used to call him what do I call him? Grove Spaz. Thank you very much. I used to call him my what is it? Dire Mutt. He was my Dire Mutt because he was just this big fluffy ridiculousness that yeah. Anyways, what am I? I'm getting all emotional now. I clicked the link, but it didn't work for me. I couldn't visit it because the site isn't secure. Not again. Not again. GTA Baby Yoda. You got to look at that, buddy. That's it's the same problem, right? It's that privacy. You got to get the you have to get a secure. You need to get a secure You need to get HTTP secure, I think. Otherwise, a lot of the browsers won't let you in there. Maybe there's another link you can share, GTA. No, GTA Baby Yoda. It's not just for a few people. It'll be any of the Chrome browsers. Yeah, it'll be any of the Chrome browsers that will do it. Yeah, be careful of that. I've had that problem myself. So, hey, buddy, how you doing? Not another tooth gone. Oh, no?
Just came out to say hi because I was really bored upstairs doing.
What were you doing?
Nothing. I did my exercise and then I.
Oh, what'd you exercise? Want to come say hi?
Yeah, sure.
We're just looking at
Hello.
looking at the masks. Aren't they cool?
Cool. Yeah.
Isn't that neat?
Mom wants one.
Does she? One of these? I think they're kind of fun though. I just like them because they got the big raccoon mouth that Jack did, and then we've got the Iron Ham snout, which is also very good. Thank you very much for that, by the way, GTA. It's very kind of GTA to help us out with that. We couldn't get masks in on Spreadshirt in North America, so yeah. I use Chrome. Goes right to it. Oh, really? Really? That's interesting. All right, so by default it tries HTTPS, but that doesn't work, so you need to HTTP for that site. So, oh, I see. So you actually have to type it in because otherwise it will automatically go to I see. Riversong says, Baz, how goes your day?
Good.
He's bored, poor kid. It's raining out. It's not raining anymore. Why aren't you in the park? Aha!
Go to the park now.
Yeah, why not?
I don't want to go. Everyone already left.
When do you ever want to go to the park?
They all left.
You don't
So
know
no,
that. When you say you know that psychically?
Yeah.
I have a
I also
feeling
texted them.
my friends have gone.
No, I also texted.
So they were in the park already during the rain?
Yeah.
But you sat around at home? You
Well, I did my exercise. So
bag of nuts?
outside.
What did you do for an exercise?
Did a 20-minute workout.
20-minute workout, really? Wait a second. When you said you did a 20-minute workout, you mean you watched a 20-minute workout, or you actually
Yeah,
did the
I watched
20-minute
it.
workout? You just watched it for 20 minutes? I'm exhausted. My eyes so tired. Now I gotta take a break.
I did decent workout.
What were the exercises? Run them through for me.
So it was like jumping jacks.
Jumping jacks. Do you even know what a jumping jack is?
Yeah.
You don't remember, do you? Are you lying to me? Did you do 20 minutes? Really? Really? You seem a little sweaty, but not that sweaty.
Tired, okay?
So you did jumping jacks. Did you do sit-ups, push-ups, any of that kind of stuff?
I did sit-ups. I know that. There's a lot of like these.
You are so lying.
No,
Oh my God.
I'm not.
You are the eyes. Your
I did
eyes.
a
I can
workout,
feel the lies.
I did a workout.
You are the eyes of lies.
I did a workout.
Really?
Yes.
Do you feel tired?
Yes.
Well, you always feel tired. Do you feel achy?
Yes.
Damn it. Do you feel like going outside?
No.
When do you ever feel like going outside? Have you eaten?
No.
No. Well, maybe you should make us lunch. God knows what I'll end up with. I don't know. What do you think? We could do mac and cheese or something. Too much work. That's my guess. Anyway, sorry. Welcome to my parenting skills. He just gets bored. You know what I mean? He's so exhausted from his workout that he can't remember what he did. Yeah, it's something like that, I think, Karem. Something like that. Make us a nice lunch. Man, it's so humid down here. I'll betcha. So I've been doing this HVAC stuff. I gotta say, I kind of like the HVAC stuff. It's like trying to find where the air vents go. Which ones can I shut down to help get air up to the top of the house? I bought this little inline fan thing that's gonna shoot air up to the top floor, make it really cool and nice so that Jane can work up there. Yes, thank you, Xenos, for doing that. David, are you going to ring me after this stream or me ring you? I will ring you, Harklight. What time is it actually? Oh, it's 1:45 now. Okay, all right. Yeah, I may have to take a little break between, but I'll if you don't mind, I'll bug you like probably around, I don't know, like around 3ish, something like that. I'd love some rain right now. Yeah, we had the rain, but now it feels kind of like, I feel like it's 100% humidity in the basement right now. I always train my butt. The increase in pressure at my butt on the chair, it increases the temperature, which burns calories. Really? Is that how it works? Koblin? Is that how it works? Elisher, thank you very much for the subscription. That's very nice of you. Get an Arduino for checking temps and humidity? I do. In fact, I have another half-finished project. Look at this. It's even got its own box. The Gecko Station. So this is the Gecko weather station, and I even went as far as printing out a little box for it. But I ran into some cable management issues here, you can see. But basically, so there's a little sensor somewhere. Is it still connected to the sensor? Where's the sensor? Okay. There was oh no, there it is. Okay, so right. So the sensor's here. It's a little humidity and temperature sensor. Nice little one. What is it called? It's it's the AM2302. And then a little LCD screen, and that'll just tell you what the temperatures are, and you can, I think there's you're right, I put the variable resistor on so that you could adjust the screen. But the problem with soldering all this stuff together is that it's the cable management. I really need to figure out something better on this. I was trying to solder it so that it was, in my mind, I thought, I'll solder it together and then it'll be more, legit. But the reality is I probably should have just gone with the pins that came with it, instead of desoldering everything and trying to solder the pins in, hardwire everything together. So actually this would probably be better with a Nano, because there's so little for it to do, and it would take up a lot less space. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll mix it for a Nano. There you go, squirrel. But it's really nice. It's nice, and the 3D printing stuff is really. This was on Thingiverse. Like there's even just a little. So there's the case for it. There's a little hole for screwing it in place if you want. There's even a little face thing that pops in front so that the gecko doesn't poop on it or whatever, or lick it or whatever geckos do to AM2302s. Yeah, so it's just a nice little system. But as I say, I had a little box, so there was the LCD screen goes in there, but the cabling just became a complete nightmare. So I'm gonna have to, and now that I've left it, now that I've stepped back for a while, I won't be able to know where anything is. So I'll probably have to desolder everything, start again, or just desolder the stuff that I've soldered together. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah. So So I do have, yes, thermometers and humidity sensors. They just not finished yet. Oh, I do love that stuff, though. Talk about, uninterrupted time doing that stuff would just be amazing. But, no echoes for, some people have echo. Jedi Killer says there's an echo. No one else has an echo. Maybe, I don't know. No echo. Okay, I gotta go. Need to tidy up after dinner. Then I'm going to play Fortnite with some friends. Karem, not the new Minecraft? Isn't there a new Minecraft coming out today? I think there's a new Minecraft coming out. In fact, I should probably mention that in my PC Bandits. I have a few things. Do you want to know what I'm doing for PC Bandits tomorrow? Here you go. I'll give you I realized, this is probably stupid. I should probably, now, as soon as I start doing this, I go, this is something else I should have on my list of things to do. Actually, one of the funny things is I have this bullet journal that I use to keep track of just thoughts and some scheduling stuff and things. And for about 2 weeks, I couldn't find it. So I'm a little behind on that stuff. But but one of the things that I wanted to do in this list of things is to figure out how to get the information about what I'm doing with the Tech Bandits and the PC Bandits and stuff out into the greater world. And of course, I used to do a newsletter when I had the kids in and I was taking photos and of all the stuff we were doing together. And then I just didn't see the point of sharing it without photos and stuff. And now I feel like I should go back and start sharing with everyone what exactly we're working on. So so one of the emails, so the email I'm working on today, which would go out to the kids tonight. So there's a few things that there's a few little things that I've got in the links that I'm going to send them. So one of them is this amazing mod for Minecraft, which lets you build a working custom PC inside of Minecraft. Like you literally, you build it. You have to install Windows. You can use, Windows Paint, and you can play, I think, Doom on it and stuff. Like it's crazy cool. Then I thought we could talk about, let's let you talk about that first. That's my first, I'll put that first one out there. Thank you, Xenos. It's great. So that's the Tech Bandits. Yeah, that's the website that I haven't updated for ages, which I have to update. Steve Z just started playing Minecraft. It's so much fun. I love it. True story. Uninterrupted time doing that is amazing. You owe it to yourself. Yeah, no, I know. I should. For years, wanted to build this project. Saw years ago on Raspberry Pi. Hooked up to a toaster, programmed to burn the weather map on toast in the morning. Oh my God, what about Bob? That is so freaking cool. There's some really neat Raspberry Pi stuff. I want to do Raspberry Pi cameras because I think it'd be kind of fun to have little Raspberry Pi cameras that you could use and log into from there. But I've got Arduinos all over the place too. Like I've got an Arduino that I'm trying to rig up to my garage door so I can text the door open. New Minecraft update is what? I missed it. Cal went flying by. Cal. When is the new Minecraft update out, Cal? Isn't it like, it's like today at 4 or something, isn't it? Is the new Prusa on the list of things to do? Yeah, no kidding. It's a full-time job. The Raspberry Pis are amazing. Absolutely amazing. In fact, you know what? A great project for the Raspberry Pi will be to add Octoprint to the new Prusa. Or maybe I'll add Octoprint to the old Prusa. Ooh, I add Octoprint to the old Prusa, and then once I've got that figured out, nice. Then I don't have one of the printers down. Maybe I'll do that. GTA Baby. I've been playing with Arduino and the Blink app. Oh, nice. Which is the Blink app? I feel like I remember that. I don't like zombies, skeletons, and creamers. Like creamers in coffee? DB says Minecraft is a gigantic time suck, and he's right. Yeah, no, you're totally right, but it's an amazing time suck. An advice and a question. To help me think, I sometimes use imagery, an imagery friend. I sometimes talk to Einstein while doing physics, or a copy of myself. It helps me process info faster, just like writing stuff down. Do you sometimes go and think about what a character you have played would do in a situation you are in? Most of my characters are pretty flawed. Most of the characters I play are pretty flawed, so not a lot of times do I think, Well, I mean, I guess I definitely do find myself going like, what would McKay do when I see sort of world issues and stuff? It'd be kind of fun. Like, what would McKay's take on this stuff be? But for the most part, who do I talk to? I talk to myself a lot, probably too much. Sometimes I answer back. I talk to my robots a lot. I talk to my kid a lot. He doesn't answer a lot. In fact, I think I answer myself more than my kid answers me on many things. But yeah, definitely, I do find myself when there are big global situations. I do find myself thinking like, how would Stargate handle this? How would McKay handle this? I thought it'd be kind of fun to. I mean, the Prusa build, it could be kind of. I'm a little nervous because it could be really embarrassing how badly I butcher the process of building the Prusa. But I was sort of thinking there. Where is there arts in your Steam? Why is there arts in your Steam, says Val. Because I think, for some reason, the arts are sort of pushed to the bottom of this stuff. And at a time when robots and AI can do so much of the stuff that humans can do, I think it's really important to concentrate on the creative elements of being human, because that is what will distinguish us. And that right now is not something that AI can do. So I feel like if you're going to raise kids, you need to raise them to be creative, because even if they have all the skills for writing, programming, and all the kind of necessary skills for tech jobs or science related jobs, I feel like if you don't have that creative spark, if that hasn't been sort of instilled in you at an early age, I think you miss out on, first off, just the excitement of all this stuff. And also, I think you miss out on the idea that this is not just, you know, it's not just numbers. It's not just physics. It's not, you need a creative way of looking at the things around you. And while obviously things are going to come down to the essentials, they are going to come down to the immutable mathematics and the immutable laws of physics and that kind of stuff. I think the creativity is such a huge part of that, and that's why the arts is in there for me. Is because I feel like, some things start as an art project, and then you end up. Kids nowadays don't see the difference between arts and well, I didn't as a kid either, to be honest. But I don't think kids do see a difference between arts and science. When you build something, whether it's you're building it to look good or not, there's so much science that comes into play in that. And I think the more the walls between these silos of education are broken down, between these structures of mathematics and geography and English and art, and they're all separated. And it's so stupid to me, because the reality is the world doesn't do that. I suppose it does if you get streamed into jobs and things, but this isn't just about jobs. I feel like even in the future, the jobs aren't going to exist the way they've existed for us. I think it's going to be a much more project-based reality for kids growing up. They will go from project to project rather than job to job, if that makes sense. And I think the ability to be able to cross the streams, be able to grab something from art or something from science or something from technology or engineering or math, grab those things and pull them all together. There was a great interview with one of my favorite guys, Bill Nye, science guy, and he talked about how he was just grabbing at these strings, and eventually you grab all of these different strings of learning and passions and opportunities and stuff, and you bundle them all together, and then you've got your balloon, right? That's what takes you where you need to go. And I think if you're just clinging to one string, you're so at mercy of everything around you. Whereas if you've got a broad passion, as I would say, a contagious curiosity, I don't think you can lose. I really don't. I feel very lucky, because I think a lot of actors right now are like, oh my God, I can't act. What do I do? Well, I think because of my squirrel-like approach to things, my distracted approach to things, because of my sort of I'm familiar with many things and master of none. I think because of that, I'm able to pivot very quickly and go like, oh, I'm going to create a website for actors instead, because I see them struggling. Let's do that. While at the same time, I'm like, oh, fine. So we'll do Tech Bandits Online, and we'll get USB microscopes to look at things online. I think I think it's really important not to keep I think it's very important to keep the arts a part of that, because I think there is technology and math and learning and stuff in all of that, and I am very, very reticent to just focus on a left brain, right brain kind of thing. I think we need to get the two together. Anyway, so there you go. I'm talking. Interdisciplinary thinking that would be a way simpler way of saying what I just said for the last 20 minutes. Great thing about paleoanthropology is it wraps up so many different disciplines into one. Yeah, I think so. But Lady Shelley, I would say that applies to all of them. And I would say you may think that, but I bet you there's a lot of paleoanthropologists who don't, who are myopic in their approach to this stuff. And I think that the true geniuses out there, the true innovators and stuff, are people who cross those streams, who grab those cables from all different areas, right? Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I agree with the sentiment, but I think it's mixing things up too much for our current time. Mixing things up too much for our current time. Val, here's my thinking on that. I feel like the kids, it's already confusing for the kids. The kids don't care about the STEAM thing. The STEAM thing is, I put STEAM in the list of stuff for me so that the adults know what I'm talking about. The kids already know. The kids don't give a crap what they don't like. I mean, they don't want to be taught. They don't want. As soon as you start educating a kid, that you lose them. As soon as you start talking to them like they're a student, you lose them. If you're there with them, and this is a completely honest place for me, because I I don't know anything. Like I'm an actor. Like I'm a high school dropout. But what I have is I have an excitement for this stuff, and I think it's I don't I think if we're worried about confusing our kids are already confused. I mean, look at the world they live in. I mean, there's no. I don't think. I think if anything, it may be confusing for us. Because oh my, we just got used to STEM, and now we got to use STEAM and stuff. I don't care what you call it. I mean, I wouldn't call it. I'd call it contagious curiosity. I call it lifelong learning. Maybe is a better way of putting it. Because we touch on everything. Like we get into all sorts of discussions, from AI to Black Lives Matter to biology. We're all over the place. And sometimes we just talk about mental health. Sometimes the kids just want to talk about stuff. And I think that's, I think if them seeing no difference between the different subjects, that this isn't just about science or anything. I mean, that's why I started PC Bandits, because I said most of the kids want to do gaming. Great. So while they're gaming, they can talk to me about games, and maybe there's some learning in there as well. So, but genuine interest, exactly. Got a meeting. Cheerio. James Gurney, thank you very much. Talk about James is a great example. Someone who's he just enjoys learning, and so he loves his job because he loves learning about it. He loves the whole process of it, and he's a great example to me actually of someone who's very good at he's got this contagious curiosity. He gets excited about stuff, and you get sucked up as well. I never thought I'd be talking about viruses, but watching James's videos from way back when were just inspirational to me. Like I was so taken with this. Anyways, Jahal, hello, good afternoon, good after morning to you. I like that, after morning. David, hi, chat. How are you all? Have I bored you all to death yet? Testing if the chat works for me now. Yeah, it's working. I see you, David CB. David seems to be INTP too, getting interested in all kinds of geek stuff all the time, constant learning. What does INTP mean? I like that. What's that? Genuine interest is key, yes. Science needs, yes. All those science needs, biology, geology, math, and more. Who is my favorite actor? I don't have a favorite actor. God, I don't know. I mean, my favorite actor. I don't think I've got a favorite actor. Was not keen on your role in Dark Matter. Seems they didn't want to give you a better role. Oh, really? I think they kind of did want to give me a better role, but I didn't do it. To be flexible. What? If you Google for Myers personality test, you find a reliable test where you can quickly find it out. INTP. Interdisciplinary thinking is a very valuable. Okay, interdisciplinary thinking. Is that what the INTP thing is? Great thing about paleontology. Good. So I'm getting behind again. I'm scrolling ahead. Okay, relatively new to Twitch. Good to see you. Keeping very active, David. Thank you very much. Too much. Hello, David and everyone. And yes, the ice cream and brownies were amazing. Oh my God. You had to mention brownies, did you? David, one problem I have in school was that I could not stay and focus on a subject. I was curious about everything: math, arts, physics, athletics, and more. Now I study economics and admin, but yeah, it became a problem. By the way, talking to yourself is proven to increase brain processing. I believe that, Kublin. Kublin, you sound exactly the same as me. I was interested in everything, but not interested in doing any of the work that they laid out for me, or the scheduling, or I just, and I think I think we're better at acknowledging that now. They have this thing called IEPs here, so independent education programs that they have for students with sort of special needs and stuff. The reality is, I don't understand why every student doesn't have that. I mean, every student is going to learn in a different way. Some of them are better. I've got one tech bandit who just excels at school. I mean, she's a classic, excited, not geeky, but a geek, if that makes geek's the wrong word even. She's contagiously curious. She's got that curiosity. She's fascinated by everything. She's very easy to inspire with stuff. You ask her to do something, she comes back with 10 times as much as you expected. I mean, she's amazing at that. And I think she would operate fine in basically any learning environment that she's in. There are other ones you have to really draw it out of them. Like, you have to really draw comments out. They're scared of making mistakes. They're intimidated by people like this other girl I was talking about. And I think so it really is, in a way, Tech Bandits is like little independent education programs for each one of the kids. And then, I broke off into PC Bandits because I had a couple of kids who were definitely just gaming was the only way I could get through to them. When I talked about gaming, their eyes lit up. They talked about stuff. So I started a whole other stream just for them, which has now got a larger bunch of people involved, and which I would really like to diversify a bit. But and sort of open it up beyond just the realm of people that I know or are related to. But so I think it's a lot about that. It's about trying to find those inspirations, and teachers that can't. When you've got 35 kids in a class, you can't do that. When you've got 100 kids on a Zoom stream, good luck. I mean, it takes a very, very different way of doing it. I mean, I found the online thing both incredibly exciting and also kind of kind of terrifying at the same time, because sometimes it works, sometimes it just it's like, oh great, the kids are all trying to figure out how to eat their mic. They're trying to they all trying to shove their webcams down their throats and stuff. I mean, it's trying. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's interesting trying to figure out how to keep them, in the learning space, if that makes sense. You cannot learn one thing with blinders on. You will miss out and limit your own development in the subject. Yeah, Sarah says, but I think that's good. Spent most of my life in IT, working computers, constantly having to learn. Tech is always changing. It's a lifelong learning. Is the reason why I love it. It never ends. Yeah. What about Bob? I'm with you. I mean, that's why I love Hapshade. Thank you. Enjoy. Introvert, intuitive, thinking, personality type. I like the sound of that. I'm going to cut and paste that. Okay. Let me see here. There we go. Put that in there for later. That's good to know. What else? You cannot learn one thing. Yes. All right. So Quakecraft says, I think I've been asked before, but I didn't watch the last live viewing. But have you put up a timer you can pause and start when doing a live watch of Stargate? Otherwise, it's hard to follow along. Haven't put it up yet. I don't have one, but I'm sure we could figure something out. If anyone's got a suggestion on that, let me know. Do you ever talk to fans about technology, like phone call, or I'd like to talk to you someday? VCMD propulsions. Well, I mean, sort of this is, I mean, in a way, this is why I do this, because I feel like, I can spend an hour with one person, or 4 people at 15 minutes ago, or I can, how many we got? So 104 people here for 2 hours. So I feel like it's almost better. I mean, again, sometimes you have to focus in on stuff for sure, but I think, I think this is sort of my way of doing that. I know that I don't have time to say hi and talk to everyone, and that can be difficult sometimes. But wait a sec. Oh Lord, not the monetized MBTI rip off. What is that? Monetized what? What's Cal outraged about? I always love knowing what Cal's. What's the T, as my son would say to Cal? I think just stating the time paused at works or does for me. Okay, all right. So that's what I normally do. I just yell out whatever my time frame is. Although I got to say, a lot of people's times are going to be different because of depending on what platform they're watching it on. The world thinks too little about self-education. If you are interested in it, you will learn it. But the degree is needed is stupid. Many tech companies don't look at degrees, but on experience. Yeah, Kublin, I think any new industry or newer industry tends to, there were never VFX. There were never VFX courses when I was growing up. Like they were, people were creating this stuff as they went along. So I sort of agree. I feel like universities and higher learning to some extent should become a subscription model rather than a series of years. I do think there's something about going somewhere and having that sort of man-child or woman-child approach to life where you're sort of a grown-up but you're not a grown-up. You have a certain amount of freedom with university. I like the idea that there is an actual physical location and experience there. But I also don't believe that you can walk out of there in 4 years or 7 years or whatever you decide and say, okay, good, I'm done. You can't. I mean, you need to be constantly learning. And I think if you could learn one thing out of the sort of elementary school level, it's like how do we nurture that instinctive curiosity and excitement that kids have that I just see getting crushed. By grade 4, you're done. You're like, oh my God, school until grade 12? Why? I know because I went through it and I couldn't stand it. But why would the idea of learning be so horrible to kids. Like, it just doesn't have to be. Like, it could be. I wanted to homeschool. My wife was like, no freaking way. My wife is university educated. She's one of the most brilliant, lovely women I've ever met. But she's very much about the educational process and having the degrees, having the paperwork to support any education you've got. I really wanted to homeschool, but she was like, "You're a high school child. You're not educating our child," and she's probably right. The funny thing is, then you find yourself in COVID, and you're not. Well, we haven't had to do that because our school's been pretty good about that. But you still end up at some point. You still have to sit down with a kid and try to make them do stuff they don't want to do, and that's always interesting. My kid just doesn't listen to me generally, so. I attended a radical new school where you, as a kid, basically decide your own curriculum. I learned computer programming, stage techniques. Wow. Before age 13, it was the best school I ever went to. Grove Spaz. Wow. So what was that school? I like the sound of that. How long do you stream? Too freaking long, Cracker Kex. Usually way too long. For me, uni was mostly about the studying. I did so much other stuff. Yeah, I mean, that was the whole thing about university. Was that for Jane talks about university as just an experience, less than an education, if that makes sense. It seems that formal learning is the problem, possibly because the way things are taught doesn't suit everyone's learning style. I agree. I think the problem to some extent is curriculum. Like, I feel like the need for having a curriculum for everybody and having everyone sort of kowtow to that can be difficult, especially, and you got to keep in mind, not to be Mr. Paranoid here, but the reality is that, if you've got a government-run educational system, then the government is going to be responsible for your kids' education. And I think that there's definitely a danger to that. I think we need to I think education should be free, frankly. I don't think you should have to pay for education. Within a certain sort of realm, I think education should be, that would be the biggest and probably most important thing you could be investing in right now, because the reality is, countries are improved by an educated population, and I think right now there's almost I'm tempted to say, if you want to get conspiracy about it, it's almost as if we're being pushed out of that in the hopes that we won't know more, and we'll question everything. I mean, again, I'm sort of contradicting myself now. Getting tired. I'm getting my pre-lunch tired, and my coffee is finished. All right, Aaron Cross says, sorry, lost a few minutes. I just received my new photos of cosplay, and they're so cool. Sorry, I was looking at photos of myself, and I'm amazing. I feel like schools now make it so much tougher earlier on to enjoy learning than it did when I was a kid. Nobody who is 5 should be coming home with an hour of homework. Not unless they want to. I mean, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, unless they've got stuff, they shouldn't be homework. It should be just stuff that they're interested. They should be. All you need to do is ignite that curiosity, and then you've got the internet. I mean, this is the funny thing is, like, you want to learn something, go to the internet. You just have to want to do that, and that is a difficult thing to get kids to do. And also keep in mind that, could you imagine, someone my age, could you imagine having access to all of this and then being told, okay, go to school? And it's like, go to the school. There's an internet of people and experiences and games and all sorts of things that I could be getting into online. Trying to focus on that, oh my God, good luck, teachers. I mean, that is a tough one. Cracker Kex is going to sleep. Sleep well, my friend. Have a good one. I was at a Dutch school called Liederwijds. It was loosely based on the Sudbury Valley School, which might be familiar internationally. Interesting, okay. But business used it to assemble teams, and it was never intended for that. Plus, they misinterpreted a few of Jung's conclusions. Ooh, I see. Cal's showing off her education here. It usually averages around 2 hours. Oh, I see. So that's just me, right? Okay, never mind. All right, where are we at? We got, in France, school is free, compulsory up to the age of 16. Of course, school materials such as pencils, notebooks, school bags are the responsibility of the parents, but state aid makes it possible to reduce this expense. Yeah, we have school, we have free school and it's compulsory here as well. I just worry about the quality of the education. That's my concern, is I feel like there's lip service paid to education here. I don't think that it's being backed up. When you got classes of 30, 35 kids, you're not teaching, you're managing. You're managing them, right? So, all right. One issue I had was forcing certain subjects that don't go with your field of study to earn degree. Personally, I did everything for web development, but didn't get my degree because I couldn't pass math. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I asked about that the other day because there was a friend of ours who's a professor. Actually, they're both professors. About that, and I said, like, why do you have to take these subjects that don't relate to your field? That's what's put me off formal education or going back to formal education recently. And I mean, he was saying that the thought is, you want to sort of try to round out people's education, but I'm not entirely sure that's right because I feel like forcing people into areas that they don't want to go. I mean, I like the idea of being introduced to certain. Maybe you could have a class that just brings up different things every week. That would be neat, like a little bit of math, a little bit of social studies, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That might be a good way to go because that could spark an interest that someone didn't know that they had on something. But I do worry about the idea of having to have a degree that involves an aspect of education that you're not interested in because I feel like, yeah, I feel like you can't force people to. You just can't force people to learn. You can't do it. It's not possible. I've just completely bashed my fingers on the keyboard. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, France university is cheaper. Well, and it used to be free in the UK. It's not anymore. 35 per class is impossible on the one hand to capture everyone's attention, but on the other hand to make a course attractive. Yeah. The only thing you absolutely have to know is the location of a library. Oh, I like that. Well, I tell you where the location of the library is. It's the internet. Like, this is it. Everyone's got access to this. Not everyone, but most people have access to this stuff, and they're not using it properly. I worry that you got teachers struggling to teach math badly, and they don't like it, and it's because it's what they're told to do, and they have to do it in front of the classroom and stuff. Screw that. Set them up with like Khan Academy or one of these great, personality-filled math courses that make it fun. I mean, why reinvent the wheel when there's great math courses out there? There's great physics courses out there. You could do. Oh my God, you could watch, Hank Green stuff. You know what I mean? Crash Course, that kind of stuff. Why not use the resources that are out there instead of trying to get a mediocre teacher with a mediocre personality to stand up there and bore the crap out of their students and stuff, I'm not saying that all teachers are mediocre or anything, but I'm just saying that if you don't have a passion for this stuff, then how the hell are you supposed to teach kids? Thank you, Xenos. Oh, someone's added that to the Zelenka bot. I like it. Doctor Who, you want weapons? We're in a library. Books are the best weapon in the world. This room's the greatest arsenal we could have. Arm yourself. I love it. Which Doctor Who was it who said that, Val? I like that. But again, I would say the library's computer system. That's the best resource you've got. Was there ever anything written for McKay that you were like, whoa, that's a bit much or that felt awkward for you to say? I'm thinking of some of the snarky come-ons with Sam might have been weird. The reality is, McKay had a lot of. He didn't pick up his social cues very well, right? So I think he was inappropriate with Sam on many occasions, and I quite liked that because I felt that those were the characters that I knew. Those are the people I knew when I was in tech. When I worked with, and I've met a lot of nerds. I've always been around nerds. I am a nerd. I sort of somehow managed to cross into the acting world as well. But the reality is, I think that's a struggle for some of these very, very smart, almost Asperger's-like people have a really hard time with their social cues and with the appropriate treatment of women and their world is very myopic and very very blinkered basically. So I kind of. Yeah, I wasn't comfortable. I'm never comfortable with doing that kind of stuff, and I will often mention it to an actress if I'm working with an actor, and I'll say like, look, just so you know, I will be leering, I will be whatever, just so they know what's happening. They don't watch the scene and go like, what the hell, and also it just gives them something to work off too, right? If they know that you're like, and being inappropriately looking at them in a scene. they're not just sort of surprised to see it when they see the show. They can react to that. They can pick up on that when they're in a scene. So yeah, I think it's that stuff is always a bit weird. But at the same time, as long as everyone knows you're acting, you're all right. I'm not saying that should be used as an excuse, but what do we got? I'm slowing down, folks. I'm slowing down. I may have to do this. I may have to bail on this. I may have to let this go. I may have to say goodbye. However, at sight, Mr. David should go to work. Thank you for the presentation. What? Oh, you should go to work. I see. I thought you were telling me to go to work. Appa, of course. Go to work. Don't let us stop you. For sure. David, talking about education and learning, is there a subject, concept, or skill you are trying to learn more of, get into, or just trying to learn now? Oh my God. It's non-stop, Kublin. Non-stop. 3D design, VFX, programming, biohacking. I've sort of like, I think part of my COVID thing has been forcing myself to just take a break and watch a movie. Like, so I've been watching these horror movies late at night, which probably isn't helping with my sleeping. But that's, it's because I'm always trying to learn something. I don't generally, unless I'm watching with the kid, I don't normally take any time to watch or to do truly relaxing stuff. I tend to always be like looking at tutorials or reading things or, so part of this COVID thing, I think from a mental health check perspective, I've been trying to just sort of watch some movies at night instead of just doing like Soliloquio or just working on tutorials on Linux or penetration testing. But as a result, it's very hard to balance them because I find because of my personality, you tend to go like, oh, okay, I'll just take a break and I'll watch this. And then off you go, and you tend to leave things behind. So I'm struggling to sort of keep back on track with that as well. So, all right, PHP. Yeah, no kidding, Harklight. PHP. It's definitely one on the list, isn't it? I did a whole course on PHP. Like, I get the basics of PHP, but it's just trying to work out, like looking at someone else's PHP without descriptions on specifically what it does, I find a little daunting. Sounds very familiar. It's why I've been trying to play more games. I need that slow down and quiet time more these days. Yeah, I think it's important to do. What about Bob? Yeah, it's hard to unplug from the learning and just chill, especially for me. Anything with Linux. Oh, you're a big Linux fan? Oh my God, the Linux stuff is amazing. I mean, I find the tutorial stuff quite relaxing as well. I could just kick back and watch tutorials all the time, but I do sometimes I often find that sparks an idea, and then you go off and do something. I mean, like it definitely is. Yeah, it's not always the most relaxing thing in the world. Whereas watching like a bad horror movie or something, which is what I tend to do these days, while not particularly relaxing, shall we say, is definitely a great, it's a great wind down in a way. It's a great way to sort of shock your brain into a different realm, if that makes sense. Just did the personality test. I'm a defender. Wow, what does that say? Been great chatting today. I hope everyone has a great day. Until next time, DH Phoenix is out of here. Thank you, DH Phoenix. I should probably do the same. Oh, yeah, we're approaching 2 hours. I usually get tired at about 2 hours. That makes sense. COVID has gotten me to learn to take naps. Oh, really? I tend to be 100% active all the time, which is burning me out. It definitely would be an interesting experience to actively consider my mental health. Yeah, it's look, I find, get this, I can't believe I'm saying this. Jane has made me do yoga. And as opposed to the burn and learns, which I haven't been doing. The burn and learns are definitely are not relaxing, shall we say? Because I'm physically exercising. I am physically working. Through. I'm working through the learning process of whatever it is that I'm doing. So she's got me doing yoga recently, and I gotta say it's exhausting. First off. I was worried because I couldn't learn anything while I was doing it, but I do a 30-minute yoga thing now, and I'm in a better space, I think, although as I just said, I am not sleeping, so who knows? I'm in a better space, a painful space, I might add, but, gotta go pick up Mrs. Jahal from work. Well, you go do that. Don't you be keeping the missus waiting. Nap in a hammock. Oh, I used to love hammocks. I thought I was having a nap yesterday. 8 p.m. Woke up at 4 a.m. Well done, Fumbles McStupid. That's not a nap. That's a coma. Take a nap for me. Essential home employee still at work 40 hours a week. Yoicks, Monica Lake. Man, they're keeping you busy. If you tried meditation, I guess, I don't know. I've always been a bit sort of like, about meditation. I think just because my internal monologue is so, my internal monologue is so negative. My internal monologue is so McKay that meditation just means I sit there snarking about stuff in my mind. But again, the yoga has helped. I mean, there was a funny one the other day where they had us doing these moves and hold the move, and it says, now, focus on your inner monologue. Is it negative? Is it positive? I'm like, it's fucking negative. It's negative. For God's sake, I want you dead. Like it was, So, excuse my language. Just woke up from one, fell asleep early in the stream. I have to wake for stats lecture at 8:30 tonight. Oh my God. Online, I'm guessing too, which is really fun to keep awake for. Went downtown for the first time since COVID. Scary experience. Oh, really, people at Torai? Are people not taking it serious? Lexi K, have I tried meditation? Oh, I thought that was a different one. I was gonna say I tried medication. I should try medication. Try that next. Oh my God, what is your yoga coach? LOL. My yoga coach, my poor yoga coach. So Jane is my yoga coach, but we've been doing these Peloton ones that they're free right now, where you can go and just take these things. So I've been doing those, but I could never do a live one. Oh my God, I'd probably just like get up and start pushing people over. I literally just get up in the yoga and go, screw this. Just push people over as they try to do their upward pros or whatever the hell they're called. I can't keep the names of them all in my head, so they yell out what you're supposed to do, and I'm like, I don't know what that one is. I keep hoping it's the last one where you're lying down on your back doing nothing. You think I should stream my yoga? You want slapstick comedy. Streaming my yoga would do it. My brain won't let me meditate. It won't shut up long enough to relax. No, I'm with you, Xenos. I'm not good at that. Have you seen the robots that teaches yoga? No, Polynomial. I have not. Do you have a link for that? I want to see that. ADHD keeps me up. My mind always has new ideas for everything. Yeah, I know that feeling. Old workman method from the 50s to 80s. Lie down in your hands using 2 fingers, a spoon. Relax. Clear your head, and when the spoon drops by itself, all of your muscles will have been relaxed. Huh, interesting. You tried eating banana with Nutella. Oh, I love bananas and Nutella, I gotta say. Love slapstick, Miss Carol Z. There you go. What? Wait. What? Yeah, I want to see this. I want to see this robot. Let's see this robot. Oh my God, yes. I keep looking at the clock, waiting for the lying down part of the yoga. Yeah, no kidding. If I almost look stupid. I am the same way. My brain just won't stop thinking and analyzing. Sometimes very hard to fall asleep because I'm always processing. Yeah, well, look, that's I used to drink a lot because of that. Like it was just, and I used to joke that it was like to sort of to quiet the voices in my head. And since the kid was born, I've basically completely cut it out. I have the odd drink now and again. But I don't like the idea of it being a type of. I don't want it to be a sort of a medication for me. I feel that feels like a bit of a crutch to me. So so I've just been trying different things like this yoga thing. I usually, if I do exercise, I tend to sleep better. So in fact, I might go and do some yoga. Oh no, I gotta talk to Harclay, don't I? That's right. I'll talk to Harclay, then I'll do some yoga. That's what I'll do. Definitely stream Robo Yoga. Oh yeah, live stream slapstick sequel to Dog's Breakfast with yoga. There you go. You can start. It writes itself basically. It's the UbTech robot. Okay, I'm looking for that now. It's my favorite actor. He likes banana with Nutella. I'm so easily pleased. Okay, I'm control seeing this. I'm looking at this. I'm pasting this. And then I guess I can put it in the. Ooh, where is that? I don't see the yoga. I see the fun family robot, but it's doing push-ups. One-armed push-ups? That seems unfair somehow. All right, this is the one that you're talking about here. Let's copy that. All right, this is not an ad. I don't know who these people are or anything. I just thought this is being shared, so I will just for those of us who like robots and the idea of yoga robots. There you go. Here's that link. That is my life. I only sleep after the 4th time I drop my phone on my face reading and waiting to be tired enough to fully shut off. I know. The number of times I've been hit by my iPad is a little ridiculous. Kind of sad. I love to invent for the better of humanity, but people are more interested in weaponizing my mind. I also specialize in corrosive weapons, which I hate. So you specialize in corrosive weapons that you don't like. Is that what you get paid for? How does that work? River Song, you are my people. Smoking devil's lettuce light does it for me. Really? See, that's never worked for me. Never worked. I just, again, for me, it was well, it wasn't a crutch, but it was, it never ever calmed me down in any way, shape, or form. For someone who's already in their head, I find the devil's lettuce was not of any. I found it really, really uncomfortable. David, did you see that Boston Dynamics is not selling it anymore? I know they were selling it. They stopped selling it. What do you like most about your country, Lexi K? Maple syrup? Hewlett is all the star power we should need. It's so true. What else would you need? This is it. Alpha 2 robot. What's that? Oh, this friendly little robot. Oh yeah, no, it's the same one. Is it? No. Is it? Friendly little robot. I see. Thank you. Okay, great. I will look at that. Please listen to your own stream. It is extremely quiet. Oh, is it? Am I extremely quiet? I used to smoke marijuana to fall asleep. 100% legal here. Made my dreams disappear, though. It was very weird when they came back with 200% intensity. I'd heard that. I love my dreams. I don't like messing with dreams. I find... Well, first off, the whole smoking thing drives me nuts. Like, I can't smoke anymore. I used to smoke in like a chimney, and the idea of smoking now is just bleh. And then the vape thing, that seemed kind of creepy too. Look, I think it works for some people. I really worry. I saw, and again, this is a different generation, of course, but I saw a lot of kids growing up completely lose their way because of that stuff. Yeah, and so I was always a bit wary of it, to be honest. And also, I usually don't like people on it. You know what I mean? Like, people just became sort of more introvert and less, like, they just seemed sort of like, I guess I'm more, because of my ADHD, I like that incredibly fast, snappy stuff. Then again, of course, the people I've met who are on cocaine is a whole other thing altogether. Then all of a sudden, that seems to turn you into used car salesman. I don't like that either. I never tried this stuff myself, but I'm very square. I generally avoid anything nowadays that has any kind of influence on this already somewhat questionable functioning brain that I have. So you got funding for aerosol type delivery systems for muriatic acid canisters mixed with other compounds will literally eat concrete and take breath away instantly. Wow. That's creepy. All right. Well, I'm well over 2 hours, and glad you kicked the smoking. I did too. It wasn't good. Oh my God. I was telling Baz about it the other day, how I started smoking when I was 14. I don't think I quit till I was in my 30s, early 30s. So, if something gets me, it's probably going to be that. Squirrel! David, time to wrap up. Never. What do we got? Squirrel. My birthday is the 25th. Okay, we'll try to keep that in mind. 25th, when is that? Make sure if we're streaming on 25th, remind us. Time for couscous. Oh, I do like couscous. Lunchtime, says Heartlight. Okay. Oh, man, I remember playing Sea of Thieves with you and Baz when I was stupid drunk on New Year's Eve. So embarrassing. Although I got to say, Cal, it was actually really funny, and you were absolutely adorable, I gotta say. But, that's beside the fact. I'm not... See, you're a nice drunk. I was a miserable drunk. I was a McKay drunk. That's for sure. No, McKay's funny when he was drunk. I became more like sober McKay when I was drunk. I'm a negative. I'm one of those grumpy, negative drunks. I just... Start 11, finally start to 54. Wow, is River Song. That is a lot of smoking. 2 days, VCMD. 2 days. Can you drop your email quick before you go? I can indeed. Again, no promises on getting back to everybody. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there. This is my, as I call it, my forward-facing email, my internet-facing email address. I get to stuff when I can. Coffee. All right, so I'm going to go get coffee. I'm going to get something to eat, and then I will give Harklight a call. Harklight, why don't we say 3? Why don't we aim for like 3 o'clock, if that's okay? Good evening, David and chat, says John P7. Good evening to you, P7, but I'm afraid I'm about to wrap it up. Sober McKay when drunk. Yeah, that's exactly it. That would be the best description of it, probably. All right, folks. I gotta say, I love doing these. I love this chat thing. Thank you so much. I can't stand angry or violent drunks. That's me. Half the town stays away from me because violence isn't allowed here. It would set me off. Yeah, I was one of those. I'm kind of like one of those drunks. I'm kind of one of those like angry drunks. I don't like me drunk. I mean, at first I'm fine, but there's just after a while I think you lose. I used to call it the switch. You used to know when to stop. You know, when you started, you'd have a couple of drinks, you go, okay, that is enough for me. And then as you get older, you start losing it's like you're fumbling for the switch in the night and you can't find it. And that's when I really got nervous about it. And then I read The Shining just before Baz was born, and then I was like, oh, screw that, I'm never drinking again. So I'm a little less strict about it now. But yeah, I was definitely The Shining. You want to quit drinking? Just read The Shining. Especially if you got children. Thank you for coming, everyone, and being wonderful as ever. David, you were okay. I guess maybe try talking a bit more. Yeah, thanks, Cal. I'll do my best. I'll try to do a little more talking. You too, Cal. All right. Thank you. What about Bob? Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Polynomial. Thanks, David. It's been another good one. Bye, everyone. Look forward to chatting again Tuesdays. Yes. So Tuesdays. I don't know when we're still working out Bradlett's. You know when he's allowed to be streaming and gaming and all that kind of stuff. It's all blending into one big long gaming session for him. So I will say, oh no, it's over, Shimmer. I'm sorry, Shimmer. Yes, I figured it's 2 hours. I'm beginning to get hungry and grumpy. It'll fall apart pretty quickly now. Trust me. So I will. Yeah, I guess I'll say cheerio. So look, everyone, thank you very much again. Huge thank you to all the Patreon patrons. D-Stat for being our only sponsorship level patron. But honestly, everybody, thank you for the little individual donations or the big individual donations. I mean, whatever you've done, thank you. To the subscribers, again, thank you. Cal for always being here protecting me with a hammer. And Jack for doing all of our design stuff and just being a great guy. Harklight for helping out with Soliloquio. I'm gonna, by the end of this, I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be the entire 2 hour stream. It's just gonna be me thanking people. But yes, you all know who you are. Thank you very much. And I will go check my email as soon as I've had something to eat. So until we geek again. Oh no, I can't do that. I'm not that quick. I don't have my son's, lightning fast. Let's stop streaming finger or whatever it is he uses. Already got this here. Is that the stream? There's the stream. I see. Okay. I'm going to go to there, and I'm going to say, until we geek again, cheerio! And I'm stopping.